TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Get ready to score big savings. It's Hubler's March Mania event.
For a limited time at Hubler Chevrolet, save over $17,000 on a new 2020 Chevy Bolt. Lease a new 2021 Trax for just $134 a month. Or lease a new 2021 Equinox for just $197 a month. We even have new 2021 Silverados for only $296 a month.
And every new car includes our 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty.
Hubler is Indiana's Chevy giant because we have hundreds of new and certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs for you to choose from. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. Find new roads at drivehublerchevy.com.
Hubler has it all.
With approved credit, 36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $199 doc fee, payments plus tax and fees. First payment acquisition fee due at signing must qualify for all applicable GMS, Costco, and lease loyalty incentives. Expires month end.
Hey, it's JMV. Last year was tough, and even tougher on me had I not got into Franciscan Health to have my colonoscopy. Right, Dr. Mon?
That's right, JMV. Because you made your health a priority and didn't put off your colonoscopy, we were able to remove your precancerous polyps before they had a chance to turn into cancer.
I know people that put off their screening. I'm glad I didn't.
1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime, and it's the second most common cause of cancer-related deaths. Putting off your routine colonoscopy is nothing to mess around with, but you can also take comfort that knowing that our cancer center is the first and only accredited program for rectal cancer care, and their team is committed to providing the highest level of care should you need it.
Don't put it off. Get to Franciscan Health. They make it so easy, and then you can sit around and watch hoop.
So don't put it off any longer. Go to franciscanhealth.org/colon-care to learn the facts.
Schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. Tell them JMV sent you.
Since there was no basketball tournament last March, Unibet is offering twice the sign-up bonus this year. Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. With twice the bonus, go twice as hard. Woo! Watch on 2 screens. Woohoo, yeah! On 2 couches. Both cheeks. And place twice the bets. Bonus! Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Today is nonstop. And suddenly, your checking account is overdrawn. But what if we gave you more time on that one? At Huntington, if you accidentally overdraw your account by $50 or less, we've put a $50 safety zone in place, so you won't be charged an overdraft fee. It's one more way we're looking out for you, so you can have time for what matters most. Huntington, welcome. $50 safety zone does not apply to returned items. Your account will be automatically closed if it remains negative for 60 days. Learn more at huntington.com/safety zone.
Do you need air conditioning service and are looking for a local dealer you can trust, like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
You are tuned into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Thursday on the Fan Morning Show, Kevin Bowen, Jeff Ricker talking NBA trade deadline, and we'll have some NCAA tournament coaches joining us 7 to 10 a.m. on 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard, a pick 6 for the Maniac. Touchdown, INDY. Yes, sir.
Sabonis down the lane with authority.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome in. What is a glorious Wednesday afternoon. I hope you're enjoying it. I know a lot of you out there are on spring break, and if you didn't get a chance to get out of town, you are soaking up the sunshine here in Central, really all over Indiana, I'm assuming. Central, South Central Indiana, what an afternoon. And for Colts fans, and especially for those of you that have voiced your opinion in the past 3-4 days, because there was somewhat of a local Colts fan movement regarding the re-signing of T.Y. Hilton. For those of you that got involved in that, for those of you that wanted to see T.Y. close out his career here, now we'll see about closing out a career because the deal for T.Y. Hilton is done. 1 year and $10 million. And I can't for the life of me remember if that's where we thought it was going to be or did we say above. I thought I remember myself saying somewhere around 11 or 12 or he'd end up someplace else. And what's interesting about this story is that prior to there was, how should I put it, manufacturing maybe? At the very least, the leaking of information via the internet and specifically Twitter that suggested that the Chiefs had interest in the Colts. And I think actually when this went down, I think Irsay was doing a show. He was doing a national show, I think, when this went down. So I think that's interesting. But T.Y. Hilton is back, 1 year and $10 million. And with that, we shall have us a discussion. Get your thoughts. Does that mean that Sammy Watkins is coming in here with his arm? Hey, great. Because Sammy Watkins is in here today. Or can you see both those guys on this team? Is it one or the other? You would have to think with the way that Chris Ballard manages, especially that position, it is going to be one or the other. Hey, I told, if you guys listened to the conversation I had last week with Carson Wentz, I said, you know, if I ran the team, you'd have 35 wide receivers to throw to. I just don't run the team, and nobody listens to me running the team. I still think, for the betterment of this offense, because remember a year ago, I mean, there was a lot of dissatisfaction early with Phillip Rivers, but when you look at the numbers late, I think everybody is satisfied. You're not satisfied with losing in the postseason. But, you know, you look at the numbers from the quarterback position a year ago, and you look at those raw numbers, you go, oh, that's exactly it. And you'd think it's going to be tough. I mean, 11 wins and the numbers that Rivers put up, it's going to be tough for Wentz, you would have to think, to touch it. That doesn't mean they can't be better as an offensive unit, but you would have to think that that's going to be difficult to touch. So my suggestion, as it always is my suggestion, is to bring in as many offensive weapons as you can. That's just not how other people think, and that's fine. Like, for example, if and when Zach Ertz gets cut loose, and yeah, good thing we're not holding our breath on that situation, right? In Philadelphia, as far as a playmaker, and I know he was dinged up, and I know others believe that he's on the other side of it right now, but a lot of similar conversations can be had to that of T.Y. Hilton. Well, you know, he's on the other side of it right now. How much does he bring to the team? When I offer up Zach Ertz, a lot of people bring up that argument. And you can make an argument for both. But the one thing you can't make an argument for is that tight end position needs a little bit more. I think Ertz is going to be on the list at some point. They're not going to trade for him. I mean, really, nobody's going to trade for him because you understand the situation in Philadelphia right now. But again, it's a good thing we haven't been holding our breath. So we shall see, and we will talk about that. It's not the time yet because there's still work to do, and I mean, Sammy Watkins is in there today. But at some point, we're going to have to look at this thing and go, are they better, according to you? Are they better, according to you, right now than they were a year ago? And granted, they still have to go out there and find a left tackle of some sort. I'm assuming it's not Sammy Tevi that's going to be the starter at left tackle, but he's a part of the team. He's going to be that support group. Holy hell, I don't know if you want to see the support group there because you weren't very happy about seeing the support group a year ago. So the assumption here is that left tackle is going to be found in some form or fashion with their first selection in the spring draft, and whether it's that 21 or if they realize they can get what they want and trade back and get more, and we'll find that out. There's going to be a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking at length, I am sure, going in before the spring draft, a great deal on left tackle. A lot of you are suggesting, well, what about this edge rushing phenomenon? I saw Robert Mathis tweet yesterday that he has high expectations for Kamoko Toure. Toure is to me, it's like Paris Campbell. You might have great expectations, but you haven't seen it. And you're to a point now at both of those positions where you can't trust it. You just can't. It'd be great. It would be great, but you cannot trust it. J. Cole says, Sammy Watkins, Zach Ertz, left tackle offense should be good. Hey, I like your thought, though. Weapons, give Carson Wentz weapons. You know, if they struggle a year ago, as he talked about with us last week, and he didn't make excuses because he put himself in that situation of, I wasn't any good either. There was a reason why I was benched. But give the guy some weapons. I mean, you're going to, I'm assuming here, give him plenty of security, which he did not have a year ago. I mean, you're reconnecting him with the guy that Carson Wentz himself talks about help elevate his game to, at one point in time, conversationally MVP status. Give the guy some weaponry. I know. I harp on that all the time. I don't blame you. And I don't blame them either. What credentials do I have? I mean, I'm Mr. Wider. Listen, I talk enough and I've seen enough out of this. It always seems like, right? It always seems like at a point during the season, we scratch our head and we go, well, I wonder if they would have been better had they addressed this or been a little bit more serious about this. And in recent years, they have been more serious. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr., that was addressed with a serious nature. And so was Paris Campbell. But the problem that you have is Paris Campbell has shown little to nothing. And the biggest problem with Paris Campbell is he has not been able to be healthy. And you hate it for him, and that sucks. But that's the way that it is. I mean, I know that the window is supposedly just now opening. But come on now. I think we know the expectation. I know the expectation of you guys. And it's certainly not to fall back from what was a year ago. And you know the expectation because he tells you of the owner. It's not that time to make that assessment right now, but at some point it will. I did not say Sammy Terry was at left tackle. Sammy Tevi or Sam Tevi. This is who we talked about yesterday, who was 77th out of 85th. And you can use the PFF as a basis of judgment on how you feel. If you believe more or you're a Colts fan and you like the move, you're going to say, yeah, these nerds don't know what they're talking about. But if you don't like the move, you're looking for something different, and you don't think he's even good for support, you're going to say, well, you know, these nerds are really smart with their numbers. There's a reason why the NFL and NBC, they use these nerds. Because they're good with their numbers, but 77th out of 85. That's heavy duty right there, and not in a good category. Anyway, we'll discuss that. If you Colts fans want to jump on here, I got plenty of time for you. T.Y. Hilton has tweeted this. One thing I know about this city is that they love me and I love them. I listen to all the songs. I read all the tweets. I will cherish this forever. It's only right I finish what I started. Hashtag TY is home. And there was an over-the-weekend movement in that category. Here's what I want to know, though. I do want to know, where did you get the Kansas City rumor thing? Where did that spawn?
I think Jeremy Fowler from ESPN reported it.
I'd like to know if we ever can find out how deep the interest might have been there. That seemed like a good spot. I know that they spread the ball around. That seems like a good spot for a dude like that. It just does. It kind of felt like, not similar fashion, but like Xavier Rhodes a year ago. I mean, you're all wondering, like, he had a one-year deal. Last 2 years in Minnesota weren't very good. Former Pro Bowler. You could tell because when he came on the show every Monday, you could tell that he had been burnt by folks up there. He's a bit apprehensive. He was pretty, what do they say, played it close to the vest often. And I respect that. I have no problem with it. But it did work out when he came here. We kind of thought that maybe it would work out. He was going to be able to reinvent himself, and he certainly did. I guess the difference is the TY's a little bit older, and it kind of makes you wonder about the wide receiver market in general. 1 year and $10 million for T.Y. Hilton, and we shall get into that discussion coming up here in a couple of minutes. I'd like to tell you next stop left tackle, but I'm not sure. I am not sure. See, JMV, the Colts are not any better with the signing of T.Y. Hilton. Get some more. Get some more weapons. That was part of the issue. I mean, with a myriad of other things in Philadelphia for Carson Wentz, some more weapons. I know easier said than done. See, Ben doesn't think they need that much weaponry. I would have to disagree with that. I think the more the merrier, because I think in the mix there, Ben, as I mentioned, it could work out, and maybe right now you look at it and you go, all right, if everything works out, great, then you have it. But I think you're putting a lot of stock in Campbell that you just can't do right now. You can hope. And I get what you're talking about on paper if you just look at it, but you just have not seen it. Playmaking tight end would be a lot better, too. Hey, the blocking part's great. The good guy part's great, too, but you need a little bit more production, I think. All right, we'll talk about that coming up on the other side with you. All right, Jay Michael's going to join us at the top of the hour from the Star. Here's why. He has an article, because we were talking about yesterday, you know, some of the situations as we approach the NBA trading deadline of tomorrow that may be going on within the Pacers. And to give you the thumbnail sketch of it, as I think Kyle appropriately put downstairs a little bit earlier, if you check out the article, it basically reeks of rookie head coach and the NBA problems. Let me go further. Rookie head coach in the NBA if you're not Steve Nash problems. Right? Rookie head coach in the NBA where you're brought in because they like you. Where you're brought in because they wanted a new voice. And then sometimes when things start going bad, and believe me, 6 consecutive losses at Bankers Life Fieldhouse is bad. Must-win situation later on tonight. I'll explain coming up in a couple of minutes. 6 consecutive losses are bad. The season is weird, right? Because all of a sudden it comes at an odd time, and then it's going to go even longer. And I say this all the time. As much as I would love to see this team have a legitimate chance at drafting somebody in the lottery, the suck that it would take for me to have to watch a team that has zero chance to do anything on a nightly basis kind of overwhelms me a little bit. It does. I know I get on that treadmill of mediocrity, and I'm just running to nowhere. But I can't lie. I do. I have this deeply rooted hope that in May, because now the playoffs don't start until, what, mid to late May? That you see TJ Warren back and you see not as difficult of a schedule, and this team certainly looking better and playing better than it has for the most part of the month of March. Without unceremoniously picking it apart for the sake of other teams that are more playoff worthy. And I know I've got us running on that treadmill of mediocrity. I don't mean to, but I do. But back to what J. Michael was talking about. I mean, basically, it's all problems that, you get mad about this and you get mad about that. But I guess the moral of the story is nobody's really buying that Brogdon is on the market right now. Nobody is buying that Sabonis is on the market right now. And I read this from my man Cornrows. Cornrows had written to where Miles had built. And remember, Miles was as good as gone. And for the life of me, I still can't believe that. Especially knowing what this team is going to be about, judging this team, knowing this team top to bottom. And you go, well, okay, the one guy we can part with, and really both of them right now. And I know what you were getting was Gordon Hayward. And I know what's Gordon Hayward been? How many games has he missed? How good has he been this year? Would we be feeling better with Gordon Hayward on this team right now?
Hayward so far has played 38 games, averaged 20 points a game, shooting 41% from three.
So they'd give up 135 points a game. And then have what would be viewed as a bad contract on their shoulders had they pulled that off right now.
They'd have a similar defense probably to the Brooklyn Nets.
But couldn't back it up offensively anywhere in the
didn't have the offensive
neighborhood.
Firepower.
Yeah. So, I guess you're lucky that didn't get pulled off. So it kind of feels like that Miles is now more valued now. I mean, good. I'm glad I didn't waste my stinking breath for all these years. Maybe one day I'm not going to waste my breath regarding the Colts and wide receiver, too. We're going to really take it seriously now. One day I'm hoping. But we'll talk about that and more with J. Michael. Trade deadline is coming up tomorrow. Listen, would I be shocked if they decided to move somebody? Kind of. But they just never have done it. I'd be kind of shocked. But, man, this game tonight, you go down there tonight against a crapwater Detroit team, and you suck this thing up like crazy, we might this time tomorrow be saying trade everybody. Now, that may be past the trade deadline by then, but, yeah, must win. It's Detroit, and they're terrible. You see the Nets, Blake Griffin, you see everybody on their bench. It's crazy. All the guys that are sitting out. Kyrie Irving's meditating. Durant's injured. Blake Griffin's trying to reinvent himself as a dunker. Working on his hops. It's crazy. I'm assuming we'll see a new home for Victor Oladipo maybe coming up here. From Houston. Kyle Lowry is the guy. I don't know if anybody watched the Lakers last night, but you talk about a disaster. This is going to be tough on them. They're missing Anthony Davis and LeBron James for an extended period of time, and I had to turn the channel. It was awful. They were down 30 at some point, and I said, man, this is terrible. I watched Juwan Howard get interviewed by Chris Webber and the gang on TNT last night at halftime, and I think I was done with it. Kyle Lowry could end up someplace else as well, so we'll talk about that with J. Michael and some of these first-year rookie head coaching issues going on right now with the Pacers and whether or not he believes anybody is going to be shipped out. TJ Warren before the start of the postseason, if there is a postseason. Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour, too. We got a variety of things to hit up with Kev. We'll get to the Colts stuff, the re-signing of T.Y. Hilton, 1 year and $10 million. Talk to Kev about that. Talk to Kev about the Pacers. Free agency so far, that and more with Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. I got some time for an Anything Goes in the 6. We haven't done it in a week or so I think it's a good time. The timing is good for Anything Goes coming up here at 6 o'clock. 239-1070. Email address at JMV at 1070thefan.com, on Twitter at JMV1070, and we are inside the lounge on YouTube Live. If you guys would like to get there, we would love to have you. You can watch, you can listen, and holy hell, you can participate, which is awesome. It is a fun time. That might be something I would do. Like if I were in your shoes, I might tune in and watch and participate. Now, I wouldn't go under an assumed name and start saying mean stuff about me, but I would have some fun with it, especially if you know me. All right, latest on the IU thing. We talked to Rab Johns yesterday. If you missed that conversation, the podcast, 1075thefan.com. Still the usual suspects as far as names are concerned, from Woodson to Beard. And we'll see if that bad boy gets resolved at some point. What did Rab Johns say yesterday? He said basically sometime before the Final Four. So he wouldn't even throw a dart at a dartboard. And I said, dude, when you approve to come on this show, you know that you're going to have to throw a dart at a dartboard. It's just what you need to do. He wouldn't even do that. But we shall see. And then the Sweet 16 discussion continues. I want to get TJ Wolf on coming up tomorrow, too. The former Martinsville standout. He played at Murray State for Mick Cronin. He's on the staff at UCLA with Michael Lewis from Mick Cronin, and they are in the Sweet 16. And I am a friend of his brother Ryan, and I am the president of the Izzy Wolf, Ryan's daughter's fan club. Friends with my daughter Lainey, the basketball squad. So we'll see if we can get TJ on this show coming up tomorrow, too. All right, anything else at 239-1070? You guys got all the means in which you can get a hold of me, and we would love to have you on the show today. And I love the fact we have an Anything Goes coming up. Yeah, check in with a lot of you. Thoughts on the Colts, T.Y. Hilton, left tackle, Zach Ertz, Sammy Watkins in today. There is a ton of stuff out there. And issues with the Pacers. I mean, what should they be doing? Counting down within, a 24-hour period now before the trade deadline? What is best suited for them? I gave you my opinion, which has us running on the treadmill of mediocrity. Will you join me? Or should they do something different? Do you trust them to do something different? From the reported, the rumored locker room issues. And we'll ask Jay Michael about Sabonis last week, too. Kyle and I both thought that had something to do with being a rebound away from a triple-double or something. And we have tagged tonight's game with the Pistons as a must-win. Because if you lose this to this crapwater team and now lose 7 consecutive at home, I mean, they haven't lost 6 straight at home since, 1985? Can't do this, or you're going to trade everybody tomorrow. Overnight, everybody gets dealt. 6:30 pregame coverage for that. 7P is the tip time tonight. Pacers and Pistons from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The second of, count 'em, 3 home dates in the month of March. What's the final one? What's the final home game here in March? They have 3, right? One was that Nets disaster last week. 2 is tonight.
Tonight and next Wednesday versus Miami.
Next Wednesday versus the Heat. I'm going to guarantee you this, too, Miami. The squeegee dude is going to run out there and squeegee up a pond of sweat, unlike you clowns did on Sunday. Our guy T.J. McConnell about broke his damn neck out there. Just squeegee that son of a gun up a little bit. Anyway, we got you on the other side. 239-1070. Jay Michael, Kevin Bowen, Anything Goes. Busy Wednesday. This is 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and as you know by now, the action never stops at BetMGM. Hoops and hockey are so hot, and baseball is right around the corner, so it couldn't be a better time to take a shot at an easy 100 from the king of sportsbooks. Today, why don't you sign up by using my promo code BigJoe100, and you can win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Pacers-Pistons game, and if either team hits a 3, you win. No matter what your favorite sport is, it's always showtime at BetMGM. Get in on the fun. They've got innovative parlay selection builders. They got daily promotions. They've got boosted odds specials and a whole lot more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use my promo code BigJoe100 to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on the Pacers or the Pistons to hit a 3. Bet with confidence and turn game days into paydays with BetMGM. This is a new customer offer. It's paid and free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. And if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Wednesday at their Bourbon and Brews party. Get to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 p.m. to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Twin Peaks, 82nd Street and I-69.
My daughter's making college plans, and she's got a long wish list for her future. We toured IUPUI, and we're impressed. With the campus located in downtown Indianapolis, she'll have access to real-world opportunities that will put her education to work. And with professors ranked in the top 50 nationwide for exceptional undergraduate teaching, she'll have the guidance she needs to make her future goals a reality. Want to know more? Go to iupui.edu.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and I want to give a tip of the cap to Jay Smith and Brett Rosie at Penske Chevrolet for holding over the Penske employee pricing they introduced last month. All throughout March, the public will pay exactly what the general manager and area VP would pay when you buy a 2021 Chevy Trax or Equinox at 96th and Keystone Avenue. That's huge savings. Penske Chevrolet is also giving you 0% financing on the new Trax and Equinox. And so you truck lovers aren't left out. 0% is also available on 2021 Silverado 1500 crew cabs. I love my Chevy truck, especially the flexibility of the crew cab, and you will too. And if you're thinking about an electric car, all 2021 Chevy Bolts are up to $11,500 off when you pay with cash. And Penske Chevy's got some great lease specials this month on the Trax, just $169 a month, and the Equinox is $239 a month, and that's a 39-month lease at 10,000 miles a year. Stop into Indy's premier Chevy dealer, Penske Chevrolet at 96th and Keystone, or shop online at PenskeChevy.com. At Penske Chevy, find new roads.
All right, everybody, this is Kevin Bowen, and we are down to 16 teams right here in our own backyard. And let's be honest, my bracket is shot, so is yours. But no worries, because I've got the app for you to win here the rest of March. PropSwap always has the best deals with plenty of NCAA tournament props ready to buy or sell. Remember, on PropSwap, you are buying directly from other sellers and bettors who've listed their tickets and are ready to cash out. PropSwap owner Luke Pergandy joins me now. And Luke, I'm looking at the website, looking at the app, and I see some enticing props right there on Loyola. That's talking to me a little bit. And how about Oral Roberts to win the South region as well?
Yeah, super crazy ticket, this Oral Roberts ticket. This customer bet $100 at 1,000-to-1 odds that Oral Roberts would win their region. They, of course, are now 2 wins away from doing that. That $100 ticket is now worth around $10,000 on PropSwap.
Oh, my gosh. That's talking to me. Oral Roberts, I think they believe in God, so I might need to hop on board there. And if they win this weekend and then they get to the Elite Eight, all of a sudden that bidding process takes a whole different animal with just one game away to win the region.
Yep. People ask us all the time, like, how does the value get impacted as these teams win? It typically doubles with each win. So in that situation, it would go from worth $10,000 to around $20,000. Obviously, because they are going to be such an underdog, presuming they play Baylor. We have so many Loyola tickets up for sale. I'd say the most notable ticket, we had a customer who bet $60 at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas last June at 1,500 to 1. That $60 ticket is now worth $6,000 on PropSwap.
Gosh. I love it all. Folks, do not miss out. Go to PropSwap.com right now. Download the free PropSwap app today.
Geodis is a global logistics and supply chain company in Plainfield, Indiana, now hiring full-time, part-time, and seasonal forklift operators and material handlers paying up to $21 per hour. Working for Geodis is more than a job. You'll work for a great, safe company, paying competitively where your experience matters. Geodis offers growth with flexible schedules, benefits, and opportunity for advancement. To start your career with Geodis, apply at work@geodis.com. Keep rising. Geodis is an equal opportunity employer.
If you're serious about selling your home, call Mark Dietel and his team today at 317-755-4232 or online markdietel.com. That's markdietel.com today.
Move on to the Sweet 16.
And now we're going to get Hinkle, right? Hinkle, half the games at Hinkle here, the Sweet 16, and Baker's Life for the other half.
USC just blew Kansas away from the beginning of the game on.
Michigan LSU was a great, great game.
That was the only single-digit game of the entire day.
Michigan's carrying the Big Ten banner now.
If you're talking about it,
Oregon just kind of steadily pulled away from Iowa in the second half.
We're talking about it.
Credit to Juwan Howard.
Bill Self was beside himself.
Your home for Indy Sports, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You know, that re-entry's so old. Like, if I were to have him do it now, it'd be JMV does not suck at all. We recognize that one. Hey, JMV, anyone ever explain why Alford is not a candidate when the job is available? Does he just tell them that he never wants it because Bob Knight's bad exit or something? Or it's odd considering the history. I think it's them and not him. It's them and not him. I mean, until somebody that's in it, and I mean really in it, tells me otherwise, it's them and not him. If that answers your question whatsoever. JMV, about 10 to 15 large buses at Top Golf and Fishers. I think the entire tournament is here. We learned yesterday via our sources, actually it might have been Monday, that Villanova and Syracuse took 64 bags of dry cleaning to Milto's on 135 in Greenwood. And if that's not the type of information you're looking for every afternoon between 3 and 6, then I don't know what is. 64 bags. JMV, why no UCLA assistant Michael Lewis on the show? Well, you know what, Brett? You made me feel bad. For one, we've never had TJ Wolf on the show. Two, TJ Wolf's brother is a friend of mine whose daughter plays on our basketball team, and I see him all the time. And I was going to give him some love because he's never been on. And Michael has. But you made me feel bad, so I sent a text to Michael and said, hey, Michael, why don't you come on, too? So you go ahead. Brett Henshaw is now programming the show. You make a guy feel bad, of course. I'm a big fan of Michael Lewis. And it's from Jasper, Schnitzelbank. I called him Mr. Basketball last week in my vaccinated haze. Of course I would want him on. So you made me feel bad. So now I just send him a text and we'll get him on. Actually, I didn't have his number. I thought I had his number, but I do have it now. But thank you, Brett, for that. At JMV, Miles may have been expendable when we could guard the perimeter better than a piece of Swiss cheese, but the way it is now, he's basically the franchise player. Madison, here's the deal, too. And this is what is so confusing to me. I mean, if you're them, and them being the Pacers, and you know this team upside down, inside and out, and you especially are in tune on their shortcomings, how in the world could you make him as easily expendable as clearly he was before the start of the season? That is shocking to me. So I don't know if you just thought that these guys were going to be able to guard on the perimeter better, and they haven't. Because at no point ever have they shown any sort of prowess to be able to do it. And when he's out of the game, it's ugly. When he's out of the game, anybody gets to wherever they want to go. In the lane. I mean, anybody. So that is the most confusing. I'm glad that it didn't happen. But that, Madison, is the most confusing to me. How do you look at this team and not recognize that as a serious flaw before the season even begins? There is a suggestion via NFL reporters that T.Y. turned down a substantially better deal someplace else. Where is that someplace else? Was it the Kansas City thing from Jeremy Fowler that squeaked out before we started?
Stephen Holder tweeted that it was not Kansas City.
It was not Kansas City, according to Stephen Holder. So where did T.Y. Hilton turn down more money to sign the 1-year, $10 million deal to remain an Indianapolis Colts wide receiver?
I think the only team more desperate than the Colts to add a wide receiver was Baltimore.
There cannot be a team more desperate, not in my eyes. Baltimore is probably more desperate, though. Hey, and listen, this may turn out to be a completely non-desperate situation. I am just sick of finding out that it is a desperate situation in October. Dennis Gary says it was the Ravens, Kyle, according to Ian Rappaport. The Ravens had the higher offer, reportedly. Shout out to Dennis Gary. All right, let's do some calls. 239-1070. And Rod is up first today. Rod, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's your mom doing?
My mom is doing fantastic. Then she will appreciate you asking. I was down there last night. Had to go pick up a kid and hit the Redneck Audubon at about midnight on the way home. It was great. But she's doing fine, and thank you for asking, Rod.
That's good. Hey, what I was wondering about, when I saw that the Colts picked up Tevy, I was thinking, well, it's probably to get their bench a little bit stronger in that area. But then I got to thinking, well, if Tevy's ranked at 77th, where's LaRaven Clark ranked? Was that an upgrade or not?
Well, it was a slight upgrade. I think Tevy was what? 7 percentage points ranking higher than LaRaven Clark.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. Rod is nothing to write home about right there. But I will say this. You're going to have some bodies. He may not even make the team. You get it because he has played. He's a veteran, and you're going to bring him in, and maybe there's a difference with a change of scenery or whatever. But he's not going to be your starting left tackle at all. No. But it's just kind of interesting. When you look at it, they're in a similar situation ratings-wise.
Yeah, well, with LaRaven being a free agent, I figured they were just kind of giving themselves something to back that up if they're just going to let LaRaven go.
Yeah, I think they're going to pay more attention to it this year than certainly they did a year ago. So they will now because they're going to end up drafting somebody. Hey, Rod, thank you for asking about my mom.
Thank you.
She'll appreciate that. She had to go to Odin today, Kyle. True story. And I wish I could have gone. I wanted to go to Odin today, too. I was all ready to grab some meat. The meat place, the meat locker's not open when I got down there last night at 10 o'clock. They button that thing up at 5 o'clock, man. If you're not there by then, done. You got to be there by 5 o'clock and never open on Sunday. Calvin writes this. Are you going to let listeners program the show get Bill Lowen on to talk about his big Bassmaster Elite Series win? Brookville's finest. That's Bill Lowen from Brookville. He is the Bassmaster. I got to be careful in saying that because I'll end up cussing. And if I want to get my money's worth, I want to cuss on here. Shout out to Calvin Fitch. I know it's that time of year, too. I thought about Calvin. I was driving down last night to get my kids, and you guys, if you drive down 37, right, it's like single lane on both sides. I'm going southbound, and right there where the White River comes the closest now to the road, where there was a creek that used to go back up in there, I wondered right there because the bridge is made wider, therefore it looks a little bit deeper in that area. I wonder if the bass, Calvin, are hanging out right there now. Or maybe it's the carp that are just eating the cigarette butts that people throw out of their cars. I wondered that last night in honor of you. It's from Mark Q, JMV. Some of it's coaching, right? Guarding the ball. I mean, look at the Bucks. Awful defensively under Jason Kidd. Add Budenholzer's scheme, and they're now tops in defense. I don't know. I don't know what it is, Mark, and you're probably right. It's something, though. It is something that not is just kind of lacking. It is a serious flaw with this team. Like I've said before, I don't know. I don't know if you have the potential of getting better because these guys are beaten at the point of attack. Because we've talked about this before. People have called up and said, well, you know, you get these quick guards in the NBA and they can get around anybody. I mean, it is anybody that gets around the Pacer guys. That's the problem. That is the flaw. And it always happens. I don't know if this group collectively is going to be able to fill that gap that clearly is there. But we have thought about it. 239-1070 is the number. Gary is up next. Hello, Gary. How are you?
Yeah, doing good. Hey, down in Evansville and Lincoln Memorial, 90-76, big win today.
Yeah, they were in the Elite Eight, right, of NAIA, so that gets them to the Final Four. And is Josh still coaching them up right now, too?
Yeah. Division 2, actually.
Division 2, I'm sorry. Did I say NAIA? Well, I mean, I'm still under the vaccination haze.
You remember that Sean Van Zandt that played for Butler? He's one of the assistants.
Oh, Sean Van Zandt is?
Yeah, he's one of the assistants. And hey, I want to tell you, too, I was actually out there to that exhibition game back when Lincoln came in there. It was Laval's first year, and that's when Butler had Baldwin and McDermott and Martin and Fowler and Wellman and Jorgensen. And I'll tell you, it was like 86-79, Butler won, and that place was full house rocking. And,
well, I can tell you this, Gary. Everybody was incredibly impressed with Josh Schertz on this show last week. I mean, he hit for Sycamore fans all the right notes in the conversation we had, for sure.
Hey, one more thing, too. I'm telling you, there's a couple players on that team. This Henry and Jordan Guest. Henry's like a 6'6" swing guard, and Guest is a 6'9" forward. And I'll tell you, I hope he brings them with him because I'm telling you, it'll soften the blow. With Jake leaving, those two guys can play anywhere in the Valley.
Well, I mean, he may have to bring somebody because there's like 5 dudes besides Jake that are in that transfer portal.
They're going to need a lot of help. But all right, I just
hey, Gary, before I let you go here, Gary, is that in the Ford Center down there, that Division 2?
Yeah, it sure is. I talked to Todd down there, Licklider.
Yeah.
I knew him from his North Central days, ran into him and talked to him. Richardson was down there, Matthew Graves.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of the assistants.
Right.
And, if you remember right, when Brad got that Celtics job, that was the summer, and Matthew about a month before had accepted the South Alabama job.
Right.
And if it hadn't been for if he had still been there, he would have been the Butlers coach instead of Brandon Miller. You remember that?
Yeah. He took to South Alabama. You're fading out. Hey, Gary, thank you for the call, too. I bet it's a glorious day in Evansville. Because what is it, 70 degrees out here? What is it, like 80 in Evansville then? It's always like 10 degrees warmer in Evansville than it is anywhere else in the state. Tom Stewart says IU has 3 players now in the transfer portal. Are you next? Now, again, let's clarify. That doesn't mean that everybody's leaving. They're just leaving themselves room regarding the coaching hire for a decision to be made. Like I mentioned Indiana State 2 weeks ago, LaRavia, and I'm assuming he committed via social media to Wake Forest. But when we had Josh Schertz, the new head coach at Indiana State, on last Wednesday, I had asked him because he had still kind of mentioned Jake in the present, but I hadn't heard anything about that since. But, yeah, That Lincoln team is good. For real, for D2. This got to be, about 77 degrees down in the Pocket City right now? It's always 7-8 degrees warmer in Evansville than everywhere else around here. It's glorious. Hey, JMV, I'm not surprised T.Y. is back, but I am surprised by the one-year deal. Would the Colts give him a fourth contract? Well, I mean, I think that also, I guess Kyle and I were discussing this, kind of dictates the wide receiver market right now a little bit too. Just the market in general. I mean, Cove, I think we thought Xavier Rhodes was going to be more popular on the open market. Played a year ago, bet on himself, played well, set himself up for a longer-term deal, and he's brought back. And Chris Ballard has talked about it. He gives these guys opportunities to size up the market, see what they have, and both these guys decided to come back. Danico Autry, however, didn't, and then wasn't happy about it. All right, quick break. We shall return. Bowen, 5 o'clock hour. Jay Michael of the Star. Trade deadline in the NBA is tomorrow, and we've got some interesting stuff going on that could go on with the Pacers, and I have tagged this Pacers-Pistons matchup for the blue and gold as a must-win tonight. We'll talk to Jay Michael. Top of the hour. Your calls on the other side with 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Kids, tell your parents about Forum's Sprout of the Month contest where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
The non-stop action of tennis takes center court at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers serves up an exciting tennis betting experience like no other with a massive number of live in-game betting options, including point-by-point betting. But don't just bet on the game live. Watch it live. Bet Rivers Sportsbook live streams a huge number of tour events from around the world throughout the tennis season. Try it today, and Bet Rivers will match your first deposit up to $250. It's a winner. Bet on tennis at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go now to betrivers.com. Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8444.
Hey, full disclosure here. I didn't used to care very much about water in my home. I mean, it's water. You turn it on, it squirts out, you drink it, wash yourself with it, use it, and, swirls and flushes and take stuff out with it. I didn't really care too much. But then, as a homeowner, I go, wow, my water, and my well water, by the way, because I'm like Little House on the Prairie guy, my well water is horrible, or was horrible, but now it is great because of Joe, John, and Dennis and Connecticut. I got serious about my water. The great smell, the taste, the way that it feels. It's easier on appliances. They last longer. All of that with my friends at Connecticut. That's why I tell everyone about Connecticut, and now you can get $200 off your new equipment purchase when you mention you heard it from me. $200 off your new equipment purchase because you heard it right here from me and my friends at Connecticut, Northeast Side Castleton, South Side US 31 and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutND.com.
We've been listening in on those two drivers, sir. Take a listen.
Nice work, Agent, whatever your name is.
Sorry, let me just dial in the frequency. Stand by.
This is a Nissan sales event ad. Got it?
They're saying it's a Nissan sales event ad.
Bravo, you cracked it.
But, wouldn't there be some sort of announcer, sir?
Give it a sec.
Secret's out. Hurry in for unbelievable savings at your local Nissan store or shop online at nissanusa.com. Get a low $229 per month lease on the 2021 Nissan Rogue or get 0% APR financing on 14 models. Well-qualified lessees, $49.59 initial payment for 36 months on 2021 Rogue. Initial payment amounts exclude tax, title, and license. Disposition fee due at lease end. Well-qualified buyer subject to NMAC credit approval. See dealer for financing details. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details, list of eligible models, and important safety information. Ends 3/31/21.
Whether you're ready for your COVID-19 vaccine or looking for the right testing options for your family, our Kroger Health team of pharmacists and nurse practitioners are here to help. Our suite of solutions is one of the most comprehensive in the industry, trusted by frontline workers around the country. Visit Kroger.com/COVIDcare to learn more and schedule an appointment at a Kroger store near you.
Since there was no basketball tournament last March, Unibet is offering twice the sign-up bonus this year. Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. With twice the bonus, go twice as hard. Woo! Watch on 2 screens. Woohoo, yeah! On 2 couches. Both chicks. And place twice the bets. Bonus! Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, Johnny, for LD Smith Plumbing, you got to make sure we are going to get some rain. And in fact, I thought it was going to rain today, but I'm no meteorologist. It is sunny and looking great. But we're going to get some consistent days coming up here of rain. You got to make sure your sump pump is doing the job that it's meant to do and doesn't have an overload or is not faulty or has that significant battery backup that's working. Just make sure a couple of things here. Make sure that it's working properly, and if there is some sort of issue, 317-284-9526 for Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing, the best local 24/7, 365, big jobs, small jobs, whatever you need, any plumbing emergency, 317-284-9526. That is Lance and LD Smith Plumbing. And right now, you mentioned my name. They're going to give you $50 off any service. That's $50 off any service just by mentioning you heard it here with me. 317-284-9526. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
At Cordell & Cordell, we focus on representing men in domestic relations cases.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
We recognize that our clients are going through perhaps the toughest time they will ever go through. We understand that everything that's important to them is on the table. Their assets, the role in their children's lives, that's an immense responsibility that our clients entrust us with, and we take that very seriously. We've been trained to do that. We've helped thousands of clients before, and it's our hope that you'll choose to entrust us with what's most important to you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives, which includes protecting men's financial means to do so. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
If there was a group of people dedicated to training their members by the best professionals at state-of-the-art facilities, and those diverse members entered the workforce as the safest, most productive workers in the industry, if they were an economic force within their communities, and if they were the kind of citizens you'd be glad to have as neighbors, what would you call them? How about the 12,000 proud Hoosier men and women with the Laborers International Union of North America?
PropSwap is America's exclusive #1 app to buy and sell sports bets. Kevin Bowen here. PropSwap is a huge advantage that I use to find the best odds in the country. Download the free PropSwap app today.
The Pacers return home to take on the Detroit Pistons this evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Whenever we need a brilliant insight, he's available at the drop of a hat.
Hey, Mom! I'm done with my segment!
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Yeah, here come the rooster. Yeah.
Jay Michael, top of the hour. Kevin Bowen's going to jump in here at 5. Anything goes at 6. Shout out to Brett Henshaw, who also today on this Wednesday is working as producer of the show. Michael Lewis, an assistant at UCLA, is going to join us at 4:30. Thanks to Brett. Made me feel bad. I go, yeah, let's do it. I always love talking to Michael Lewis. Always. So he's going to join us coming up at 4:30. We're going to find out what he's doing and what's going on and what has transpired with that UCLA team, because they have been looking good. On to the Sweet 16 they go. Inside the Lounge on YouTube Live. Jonah in Arizona is in there. You guys love my aggressive hand gestures for the Connecticut read. Actually, as you guys know, there's not a read. I try to as much. I do them all off the top of my head. Sometimes I have to do the numbers because I don't have the numbers memorized. I mean, hell, I'm not any good at math. I don't have the numbers memorized, but I do as much as I can. I do that stuff off the top of my head because I think it just sounds better. It sounds more original. You don't want to hear me reading the same damn lines over and over again. But yeah, I did get a little aggressive on YouTube Live with my hand gestures right there. Glad you guys are in there. Shout out to BT. Dude, BT, your prizes are available. Your prizes are available. BT won on Saturday night. I got more for you this Saturday night, too. It was funny. Last Saturday night, I got calls. It was loaded like for 6 hours. I mean, it was the longest that I'd held off urination in like years, or at least since I've turned 50. I mean, I thought I was going to have to be like hooked up to a catheter or something like that. It was that bad. But you could tell other people were in town and listening for the first time. It was just loaded the entire damn time. Pretty awesome. T.Y. Hilton is back with the Colts. 1 year and $10 million. It has been suggested, I should say, rumored, reported, whatever, that he had a better offer from the Baltimore Ravens but turned it down to come back here. Jay Michael, top of the hour, 239-1070, and Pete is next. Hello, Pete.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, Pete. Go ahead.
I was thinking about the show yesterday and talking about the trade deadline.
Yep.
And I think that the worst thing that the Pacers could do is nothing at this trade deadline. Because clearly, even if T.J. Warren comes back, this is essentially the same squad that got swept by Miami in the first round last year. So, I mean, they just need to make a decision on what they think the path forward. We're not raising banners for most consecutive playoff appearances.
Yeah, and you're right. And that's why, to me, more people would suggest that they're so far away that you just sell and try to rebuild something, maybe strike a little bit of luck and get yourself a higher pick, younger talent, some people that maybe can defend on the perimeter, then move forward as they are right now with this group. So it would be more than them, I think, going out there and making themselves available as a buyer. I think that would be more of what people would think would happen.
I agree with that. I just want to see some direction. Give me something, because this is, just kind of like watching IU. It's kind of uninspired basketball that they're trying to put out there for us.
I can't lie about that. There was nothing inspirational about Monday night, brother. Nothing.
Absolutely.
Nothing. Hey, Pete, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. If you're on hold, I'm going to get to you. You want to talk about T.Y. Hilton? Clint wants to talk about Michael Lewis. I'm going to let Clint talk about Michael Lewis to Michael Lewis. He's going to join us at 4:30. Bowen, 5 o'clock hour. Anything goes at 6. And yes, live, local, and late breaking with Jay Michael. A day before the trade deadline, some unhappiness inside the Pacer locker room. What is at the root of that? That and more with Jay Michael. He joins us coming up next.
Check out the newest Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
John for PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. All right, so you've lost out on your coverage, right? And you want to do something about it. I respect that, and I'm here to give you options, my friends. The options of your real growing hair again with PAI. Are you on board? 888-724-5129. Listen, no big decisions right now. I'm just going to give you some advice and a little bit of insight from Darren Andrews. He's going to talk to you at 888-724-5129, and you can get the gist from him about how you could get your real growing hair again. The technology, the procedures that are even better now than when I did it like 6 years ago. It is spectacular. And if you're looking on YouTube Live right now inside the lounge and you see my do, yep, you got it. It does work with PAI. 888-724-5129 with that private consultation. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. All March, Indy is tourney town, and our mascot, Brian Baby Boomer Weddle, is in tryouts to make the team.
Hey,
Coach Rob, can I stop running now?
Listen up, baby boomer. We have a strong game plan to win this month, and if you want to make the team, you gotta keep up with the plays. Our first play is $15,000 off 2020 F-150s.
$15,000 off F-150s. That's a great play.
And we're running $8,000 off 2020 Escapes.
$8,000 off 2020 Escapes. Another great play. Wait, how many plays are we running at once?
That's a coaching decision, Brian. We also have over 200 nearly new vehicles ready to get in the game.
And we can give you the assist with $2,000 more for your trade.
Now you got it. I'm promoting you to team captain. Keep that mascot suit, though.
Why?
Because you're doing both jobs now, captain and mascot.
I think that's impossible, Rob.
There's no I in Estes, Brian. All March, get $15,000 off any 2020 F-150 or $8,000 off any 2020 Escape. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
All right, the tournament's down to 16 teams, and you've been watching from the sidelines. So now's your chance to get in on all the action. FanDuel Sportsbook gives you that opportunity. Going to hook you up here. Exclusive 30-1 odds on all 16 teams left in the bracket. And I'm even talking about the top seeds here. Yep, you can go ahead and dive in on this exclusive deal with Gonzaga. Pick the Zags. Maybe Baylor. How great is that? But you're going to get, as a new user, 30-1 odds on any team to win their next game. That is can't miss, my brother, right now. Download FanDuel Sportsbook. Use the promo code JMV and unlock the exclusive 30-1 odds boost for you. That's promo code JMV at FanDuel Sportsbook. 21 plus and present in Indiana. New users only must wager in designated boost market. $10 first deposit required. Max bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9 with it.
This morning, Jen woke up, made 3 breakfasts, did 2 loads of laundry, and 1 conference call. But she also saved $25 because Jen uses a new innovation from Huntington called Money Scout. It analyzes Jen's checking account to find money that's not being used and moves it to her savings automatically. Learn more and enroll at huntington.com/moneyscout. Huntington. Welcome. Message and data rates may apply to text alerts. Money Scout is subject to eligibility, terms and conditions, and other account agreements. Member FDIC.
Hey, I talked to Joe Childers a little bit earlier today regarding CarX. I know they got a new location coming up, 13 in the area right now, and you're moving from winter to spring. You got to make sure that your ride is still running smoothly. So CarX, Joe and the gang are going to offer this March Savings Madness specials going on right now. For example, lifetime brakes, $109.99 per axle. You can save $140 on a set of 4 select General tires. Financing options across the board are available. Make sure your ride is running smooth as we hit the springtime temps right now and coming out of the winter at your local CarX. 13 and some more additions on the horizon in the area. To find the one nearest you, and shout out to Micah and Kevin down in Greenwood, 135 in Greenwood. CarX.com for that location nearest you today.
Since there was no basketball tournament last March, Unibet is offering twice the sign-up bonus this year. Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. With twice the bonus, go twice as hard. Woo! Watch on 2 screens. Woohoo, yeah! On 2 couches.
Both chicks.
And place twice the bets.
Bonus.
Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
You are tuned into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Well, not really. I felt it on my leg. Come on, I don't want to see it.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Kevin Bowen, Michael Lewis, the former Hoosier, the UCLA assistant, bottom of the hour. Anything goes in the 6 o'clock hour. Trade deadline in the NBA is coming up as of tomorrow. We'll get to that in a minute. This reminder T.Y. Hilton back with the Colts, 1 year, $10 million. 1 year, $10 million. The word is there was a better offer out there by Baltimore, but he chose to return 1 year and $10 million to play wide receiver for the Colts. We'll jump back to that in a second. But via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline and the Indianapolis Star, he covers the Pacers. Jay Michael joins us. All right, I got your article and taking some tidbits and thumbnail sketches out of that. I want to start with the issues surrounding the locker room situation right now. Is the basis of this all just what sometimes, more times than not, comes along with having a rookie head coach?
I think there's no doubt about that. And, you know, you have a rookie head coach and you have a team that's, you know, hasn't been really playing well ever since that first couple of weeks of the season. So, I mean, if the Pacers were 23-19 instead of 19-23, or maybe, you know, having a record where they're, you know, somewhere around fourth in the East and solidly locked in, would you still have those same problems? I would say no. But, yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with being a rookie head coach. And that's why one of the things that I mentioned in the story, which was said to me by someone who knows about the situation, that there's a good chance that, you know, the support staff around Bjorkgren, meaning the staff that he has, may need to get adjusted, and wouldn't be a shock to see once the season ends. Whether that means you move people out and bring new people in, or maybe you add more, I'm not quite sure exactly what that would be. But that it's those kinds of things that could help mitigate some of those things. Because, you know, like I just said, you know, if you're winning and things are going well, the little things I don't think become accentuated very much at all.
So Jay Michael, the Star, via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So what are some of the issues going on there? If there are some of the issues, maybe some of the things you talked about in your article this morning.
Well, one thing I've gotten back mostly is that they think he micromanages and is a little bit overbearing with how he wants certain things done. And, you know, if you're a college coach, you know, college coaches do that to their players, and players, you know, that's what it is. You do it or you sit down. NBA is different. And even though he's been in the NBA as an assistant, you know, it's like one of those things where, and that's where that's kind of connected to what I said about the coaching staff and other people that maybe you put around him in the future to kind of help let some of that stuff go. Because when you're a first-time coach and it's a high-pressure situation, sometimes you try to manage every little thing. And so I think that's one big thing. The other thing that I got back quite often was that he, you know, the offense or that a lot of stuff they did was too geared towards Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon. And, you know, that's been a problem for them all season, well, at least until they got Karis LeVert. That gives them another option. I mean, I guess one could argue that those are the best two guys you had at the time.
Sure.
So you got to do what you got to do. So that's why it's not the same issue. It's kind of weird, like, that we're here discussing this because, you know, when McMillan got fired, they had locker room issues, but I think that was more severe. I mean, I can't say for sure, but based off of what I've gotten back, I think that was far more severe in combative. But I think it's Bjorkgren's supposed to be a communicator, a guy who can relate to players, and that's part of the reason why he was hired. And that was the big pitch that was given when he was brought aboard. So I was kind of surprised to hear that. But I think, you know, look, they're not going to jump off this ship and punt on him at this point. I don't think it's that serious. But, again, if you're winning, are we even talking about it at this point? I'm not so sure if we're talking about it. I don't think we'd be talking about it at all. I don't think anyone would be complaining too much. But maybe when you get towards the end of the season and you get T.J. Warren back, if they can get the ship running in the right direction and getting the results that they want, you know, this will all be a footnote to, you know, some tough learning along the way. But there are, you know, it's not a happy place. And honestly, a losing locker room shouldn't be a happy place as far as I'm concerned. People should have friction with each other.
Yeah, and I would agree with you there, too. The thing that I pointed out, and I think I've said this to you before, and Jay Michaels on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline is, and this is regarding Miles, and I think everybody knows me as being a tremendous Miles supporter for a lot of the reasons we've seen when he's not in the game defensively for this team. The thing that's really tough for me is for this organization, Jay Michael, to have him so close to being dealt the way they did before the start of the season and having really no understanding, I guess, or recognition of how bad their defense is or how their defense is built and would look without him. That gives me a moment to pause and think, what did they actually believe they had when they started the season if they were so willing, which they were, to part with 33?
Yeah, and it's that you bring up Miles, by the way. I'm told Miles is actually the most probably the most pleased guy with the way things are going in terms of his relationship with the coach. But yeah, with Turner, it's always a tough one. I mean, I think the organization is caught between you want to keep butts in seats, even though no butts can't really be in seats, at least at full capacity at this point. But ideally, you want to keep butts in seats. You want to keep the season ticket holders. And that Turner isn't as important when it comes to that as Domantas Sabonis is. And I think that kind of colors this thing a little bit. And, and look, they wanted to get more dynamic offensively because this has become a more offensive league. And you watch how this team performed in the bubble when the offense shut down. That's why they wanted Gordon Hayward, a 6'6" guy who can handle the ball and who can shoot threes and who can run pick and roll. And I think they thought they could compensate for the loss of Turner. But I think, if anything, what this season has shown is,
they can't guard you out front. That's what it's shown.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think you can get away from Turner without. If you're going to get another guy in there who can do a lot of Turner-like things defensively, as well as maybe plug another hole, okay,
sure,
that's one thing. But to pull out Turner right now and just get another offensive-minded player, it has to be an exceptional offensive player, not just a plug-and-play kind of, six-man caliber guy. You need to get a star. If you get a star for Turner who's can get you so many points and can make that offense so dynamic, it's going to wipe out all the ills you have defensively, fine. The problem is there's not that guy out there that's available. So, yeah, I think the Turner thing is more about, if you got to get rid of a big, if it's going to be him or Sabonis, I think the feeling is, and I think this goes to ownership more so than the front office, that the person you trade in that scenario would be Turner. But I wouldn't trade Miles Turner. You and I have been on the same page.
Sure.
For the last couple of years. I can't, as much as we can, scream into the outdoors, and people just seem like they don't want to hear it because
we got a bunch of box score readers. It's box score readers. It's people who don't watch.
They go back to the box score. What happened in that Denver game, the one that they had March 3rd when Turner got pulled out? They're down by 16 or 17. Yeah. Turner's on the bench when this happens. The deficit's down to 9 by halftime. Then they lead by 4 after 3 quarters because of Turner. They pull Turner out of the game because he played the entire fourth quarter. What happens in the fourth quarter against Denver? They end up down by double digits by the midway point. I mean, there's plenty of examples of that happening all season, and it has nothing to do with what the final stat line is.
Completely agree with that, too. It's tough. I will say this. The worm has turned here recently, though. I mean, I used to take a lot more crap, and now I'll take none regarding this because I think more people have watched and are recognizing and are doing more than just staring at a box score and going, oh, well, look here and this, and where it's understandable. I mean, when he is an important cog in this team defensively because without him, I mean, I'm not going to blame everything on him not being in the game on how things went down against Milwaukee, but there's still a lot of things. People are unafraid to go anywhere offensively they want to go when he is not in the game, and you can see that. He does chase, as many blocks as he gets. I mean, he chases dudes out of the lane when they easily get in there.
Yeah, I mean, they don't give up 140 points to Milwaukee.
Exactly.
Now, they might still lose the game.
No doubt.
But they're not going to get eviscerated by that kind of score. A Milwaukee team that didn't have Giannis. Yeah. So that's not going to happen. But it's even beyond the box scores, too, because I think people, now that Sabonis has gotten his second All-Star. So you look at that too. You know, Sabonis is the guy who's the All-Star. Turner's not.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. And he's the one. And so that's for a small market team that has a guy who's a two-time All-Star. That's part of your selling point for getting butts to come through the door. Like the stuff that Turner does generally is not. So I think that's the position, and that's the really difficult part of being a smaller market team. I think if this was a larger market situation, I don't think that would exist when it comes to how you evaluate Turner and how you evaluate Sabonis. But they need Sabonis because he's a key piece to the identity of the franchise. And again, as I say all this stuff comparing Turner and Sabonis, I'm not bad-mouthing Sabonis at all. I'm really just kind of explaining the upside to Turner that nobody is seeing and why that consistently gets overshadowed. And I don't think that's his fault. He hasn't been consistent, obviously, and early in his career. He's been, he's even said he's heard people call him soft. He knows about that label. I've said that he has to get tougher, especially defensive rebounding. I think the other thing that he's doing, he's incredibly getting, compared to recent years, he's really hitting people and getting physical underneath that rim more than I've ever seen him. So I think that's part of the reason as well, because if you compare the style from him to Sabonis, one guy had a reputation of not seeking out contact, which would be Turner, and a guy like Sabonis seeks out contact even when there's no contact to be sought.
Yeah.
And that's endearing to a lot of people. And so I understand why the views of them are different. But as much as people praise Sabonis for what he does, you gotta give praise to Turner and his value for what he does. Because if you pull him out of that lineup, and you move him for, say, another guard who's not a star player, and you just get a little bit more scoring, okay, you'll be among the league leaders in offense, but you'll also be among the worst defenses in the league.
So Jay Michael with us, and that's why I brought up. I'm not necessarily sure that the organization knew that value when they were that close to dealing him, but this is where we are now, and what we are is less than 24 hours away from the trade deadline. Are there any expectations as far as any Pacer movements concerned here?
Man, it's always tough for me when we get here. I would say very little in terms of major moves. I mean, I know the internet's gotten kind of riled up about Brogdon being traded and all of those kinds of things and being on the market. I was told definitively by multiple people yesterday that was not the case, that he's not going anywhere, which, obviously if that would happen, that would lead to a whole lot of dominoes falling. And does that mean that that they were willing to deal him, but there's nothing out there, or that they're locked into him just because they're committed and they're not listening? Those are two completely different points of view. But from what I'm getting, he's not going anywhere. If I expect anything to happen, I would say it's around that Doug McDermott, Aaron Holiday, Jeremy Lamb sort of level of player with the team. Guys who are, have provided value at different levels throughout the year. McDermott obviously having the best season of his career. He's expiring. I know there's a lot of teams that have been interested in him. I mean, a whole lot looking at McDermott. If you don't think you're going to be able to keep him beyond this year, because he's going to command a lot of money in the free agent market next year, and I'm not sure if the Pacers believe that they can retain him at whatever number his projected number is going to be. He could be a guy that's a valuable chip for a team that's contending, who needs another scorer and shooter. But Aaron Holiday, just because he's fallen out of the rotation with the emergence of Edmund Sumner, they need Sumner for defense, and because he can get out and run the floor, and he's also bigger. And Jeremy Lamb, despite his defensive liabilities, he's still a 6'5" guy who can score. He has those moments where he'll disappear in a game, or you don't see him for a game or two, and then he'll just get loose and help pull a few games out for you. So I think Lamb, that makes him valuable to the Pacers because of his ability to do that. But I think that also makes him attractive on the market as well. And also, he makes about $10.5 million a year, if I'm not mistaken, on his deal. He has a really good contract. McDermott, as I said, expiring, has a really good contract. Aaron Holiday is on a rookie scale contract that has one more year left on it for next year, 2021-22. So those guys are all on good contracts. But I think it's all going to hinge on what the Pacers can get in return. They're not going to, I don't believe, give any of those kind of guys away just because somebody's like Holiday, for instance, is unhappy with his playing time. They're going to do it if they do it because they can get an asset that can help them. And the asset that they need the most, as I've been saying now for the better part of the year, they need to find a 4 who can defend at the wing. And that is the biggest weakness in the defense. When Sabonis has to defend the 4 and he runs out to defend somebody on the wing, when he gets beat, that's putting the whole team in rotation. Turner's having to cover the rim, and even though he's good at it, that leads to games where Turner gets into foul trouble, where the defense collapses, and then they make the extra pass and they get an open 3 on the opposite side. That's not Sabonis' strength. That's not an ideal position for him to be in. They need to solve that, and I don't know if the pieces they have available potentially are going to be enough to get a player of that caliber.
Would that be for the now or more for the future too? I mean, would that be something where it just comes to mind, like a Thad Young, for example, who is an older veteran and been here? If they have any aspirations of being more competitive here down the stretch, is there any thought there?
I mean, they would love to have Thad Young back, but Thad Young is obviously playing well in Chicago. Yeah. He's got I think he's due $14 million this year. He has a $6 million buyout next year. He would be great, but who would be the ideal guy?
Who is that?
I got to give a shout out to my guy Alex Golden, who actually he and I were talking about this, and he brought up this name, and it was like, oh yeah, Harrison Barnes would be perfect. Now, the Kings have given no indication that they're giving him up. That's a 6'8" guy who can shoot the 3. Who can defend small guys, who's big and physical enough to guard bigger guys in the post, and who's physically strong, and who's a good mid-range shooter. A guy like that, but that's why Harrison Barnes, though, makes $22 million a year.
Yeah.
So they're not cheap. They're not cheap, and they're not easy to come by. And so I don't know. I don't think the Pacers have the pieces that they're willing to part with that can land a guy of that caliber at this point. But yeah, I think if something like that came available and somebody said, hey, a guy like Barnes is available, would they do it? Yes. I mean, I think they would do it, but I don't see that anything like that out there as of now. But if somehow he became gettable for them, or a player like that caliber of player like that could be gettable for them, he checks off a whole lot of boxes that, Jakar Sampson ideally could play that spot, but he can't shoot like Barnes. He can't handle the ball like Barnes. You have limitations with that. And Justin Holiday can play that spot, but he's really undersized. So you need a physical guy, that OG Anunoby type of guy with that kind of build who's really switchable on both ends offensively and defensively to give you that versatility when playing two bigs together in Turner and Sabonis isn't working for you.
So if they would have drafted OG Anunoby, it'd be perfect right now. So
hey, I open that can of worms.
Hey, one final thing with you before I let you go. How do they view themselves organizationally with this team going into this trade deadline? How do they view themselves for the rest of the year? I mean, are they think they're contenders, or what are they?
They believe now, unless the thinking has changed in the last 72 hours, they believe that they're going to be in a playoff mix. They want to make the playoffs. They don't want to be a non-playoff team. And they think when TJ Warren comes back, whenever that is, they're going to be in a good position to make a run late. The question is, are you in a position to do that play-in tournament for a 7 or 8 seed? And if so, what does it matter at that point if you're going to be playing like Milwaukee or Philadelphia in the first round? But I think they believe they're still that they still have a chance to pull it together. And if you got to go back to what Kevin Pritchard said when the season started, when they hired Bjorkgren, they expect some backslides. They expect this to not be the smoothest ride, and they're going to try to be patient and not have knee-jerk reactions when things don't go well, that they need to ride this out. This can't be a plan that they put in motion, and then a few months later, they pull everything out and start over again. They want to be patient, and they want to give it a chance to work because they were tired of doing things the same way previously under McMillan. So whenever we're talking about this stuff, I always got to remind myself, this is what they said the plan is and what they plan on sticking with. And so I'd be surprised if they did something like wholesale changes without them getting a significant upgrade somewhere. But they see themselves as still being able to make the playoffs. They think ultimately it's going to work out not only at the end of the season, but looking into next season, that they're going to have some real benefits from this whole experience.
Let me tell you this. If they lose their 7th in a row to the Pistons here tonight, I'm going to tell them to trade everybody about 10 o'clock this evening.
I mean, hey, look, do you believe anybody on the roster is untradeable?
No, but we're in lockstep on a lot of things with Miles and with certainly how the organization views Domas. Because, I mean, you get this all the time, too, because we had that conversation about Domas last week, and I got more times than not, if they ever traded him, I'd be done watching the Pacers. And I think the Pacers recognize that aspect. Not suggesting they're letting the fans make decisions for them, but I don't think that passes them without a great deal of recognition, stuff like that.
Exactly, and that's why I think they're in a tough spot when it comes to that. I think you could reasonably make the argument that Sabonis is the more movable guy, and not Turner. And he's the guy with the 2-time All-Star, and you might even be able to get more for him. I know one team in particular, I can't say who it is, but that really values Sabonis and has a front office guy who absolutely loves him and loves him more than Turner, and they can use a big. But yeah, it always.
But you could also argue that maybe he's going to peak. This is going to be his peak right now too.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of selling high. See, I think Turner still has room to grow and get better. I think there's more ceiling left for him. Whereas I think you could argue if Sabonis, you sell high and everything's going to be okay. But that gets back to small market teams and what they have to deal with. We were talking about the LA Lakers in this situation, there's no doubt it's an easy decision. Their fan base and those ticket sales and that glitz and glamour and that TV money is going to be there regardless. They're in a different world. So when we compare this and say, why won't the Pacers do this when this team does this and this team does that, it's not the same market, and they all are unique in their own way. And there's no doubt in my mind when Herb Simon, those kind of talks probably come up, that's what you think about when it comes to Sabonis, because I've heard so many people say they'll pull out everything. I'm done if they get rid of Sabonis. And I just don't believe very many guys in the league, not just the Pacers, in the league, are untradeable. There might be 10 or 15 guys that I said, okay, I wouldn't trade him for anything. But the other 400 plus, I'll listen.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I want to trade a guy, but I'll listen to you what you got. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So J. Michael, the Star, Pacers, Pistons tonight, 6:30 pregame, 7P. The tip, J. Michael via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I appreciate you, and if anything happens, we'll reach back out to you.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
So J. Michael, the Star on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You are officially trade deadline in the NBA, Pacers-wise, up to date. Your calls, Michael Lewis, the former Hoosier standout and assistant head coach under Mick Cronin for UCLA, the Bruins in the Sweet 16. The Jasper standout joins us next.
Indy's favorite sports bettor's advantage is the free PropSwap app. PropSwap is where America buys and sells sports bets. This is Kevin Bowen, and I use it. Download the PropSwap app today.
PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com, 888-724-5129. If you want your real growing hair again, and your real growing hair with no toupee, no spray-on, no adhesive, no duct tape, it is the real deal. 888-724-5129, your real growing hair again. You can ask me about it or Darren Andrews about it, but if you want the option of your real growing hair, it's PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a cash-out refi? It's using the equity in your home to pay off high-interest credit cards. Paid it off! Yes! I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. With mortgage rates at a record low 1.875%, you can save hundreds each month and skip your next 2 payments. You'll pay nothing out of pocket, and we never charge for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan. And remember, our local lending experts speak mortgage and love translating for our customers. Eliminating debt means putting your dreams back on the table today.
Updated bathroom?
Updated bathroom and a pool table?
Don't push it, Rick.
Get started with our fast and easy zipline tool at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.913% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
All right, you look for a new set of wheels, huh? How about the best? 131st and State Road 37 is Andy Moore Buick GMC. It is my friend Eric Wilson. He will give you a great deal on whatever you're looking for, too. He and the staff, and nobody better up there. And I know we're kind of coming out of the wintertime here, and you get the weather out, you go, man, I need a new vehicle. That's the place you can go because they have great deals across the board. I'm just here to give you one of them because I'm driving around the GMC Acadia, and I love it. My family loves it. The kids love it. And you will, too, especially with this deal. No, nothing down, $249 per month for a brand new Acadia right now at Indiana's Best. Tell Eric Wilson that I sent you. If you're in the market for a new ride, I want to keep this hassle-free. You don't have to go everywhere. You don't have to just constantly look online for this deal. Go to one place. Get treated the best and come away with a new ride of your choice at the best. Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Small business owners, is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds? Sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
Hey, Love Heating and Air. Here we go. From winter to spring, make sure that your HVAC unit is clean. It is tuned up and good to go because first time you crank on to cool and it doesn't cool, you're going to be irritated. Make sure that that's taken care of. And always make sure you got this number at 317-353-2141 for any HVAC issue you have. It is John and Chris Love to the rescue. Love Heating and Air. And right now you mentioned my name. They're going to give you $125 off. The state-of-the-art iWave air purification system. That's $125 off just by mentioning my name. 317-353-2141. Online, love-hvac.com today.
Listen closely. A gentle Gulf breeze floats through the air. Emerald green waters gently lap the shoreline. Palm trees sway gently to and fro. Let your senses come alive in St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, where miles of white sand beaches meet world-class sunsets. Where all things vibrant and vivid come together. Plan your next escape at embraceyoursenses.com.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan is your tournament headquarters. I'm Brendan King. Hear live scores and updates from every game. Brought to you by the Indiana Laborers District Council and its affiliated local unions.
Get a leg up on the competition and get pre-approved now. The 21-day closing guarantee only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
You are tuned into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. The Ride with JMV.
Bullish Prince hanging and banging with you until the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we have artists such as Living Color and the Fine Young Cannibals right now. Here's Roxette, The Look, 89.9 WROL.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
And J. Michael, the star. Talked NBA trade deadline, which is tomorrow. Pacers Pistons tonight. I've dubbed that must win. They've lost 6 consecutive at home, or 7. 6 or 7. Yeah. Yeah, must win against a terrible team tonight. Bankers Life Fieldhouse. One of 3 games in the month of March. Bowen, 5 o'clock hour, big news of the day. T.Y. Hilton, 1 year, $10 million, and he is returning to be the wide receiver of the Colts. And Colts fans are thrilled with that. So T.Y. is back. We'll jump on that and more with Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. Your calls and more coming up, too, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He is a friend of the show. He is a friend from Jasper. He is a friend of the Schnitzelbank, and he is an assistant coach under Mick Cronin at UCLA. Let's welcome in Michael Lewis. What's going on in your world? What are you up to today?
I'm watching a lot of film. That's the fun part of being still playing at this time of year. You know, there's a lot of really good basketball teams sitting at home, and we feel very fortunate to still get to be with our guys and with our team and working on trying to make something happen here in the next weekend.
Let me tell you this. Ryan Wolf told me. He said, man, they're coming. They are coming, and we saw that last week against Michigan State, and, man, it's been a sweet ride so far in this tournament for you guys.
Yeah, we played really well. You know, we felt like we lost 4 in a row to finish our regular season, and you know, it turns out that 4 of those teams were all in the round of 32, and 3 of them are still in the Sweet 16. So, you know, we were playing good teams. We were playing some good basketball. We just weren't able to finish a few games, and you make a couple free throws here and there, and those outcomes are different. But felt like we were doing some good things if we could just finish and clean up a few of our mistakes. And we got in this tournament, and we've played 5 really good halves of defense, and that's what's got us into the Sweet 16. And if we're going to have a chance on Sunday, we're going to have to be exceptional on that end.
It's Michael Lewis, UCLA assistant coach, UCLA and the 2-seed Alabama coming up at 7:15. That's on Sunday night in the Sweet 16 at Hinkle Fieldhouse. How's it felt to play these games at Hinkle, for example, a place where you were an assistant coach?
Well, we've done the tour. You know, we started off in Mackey Arena and then Hinkle and Bankers Life, and obviously I'm familiar with all of them. But it was pretty cool walking back in Hinkle Fieldhouse and playing and really just in talking with other teams in passing here. A lot of people have really enjoyed playing in Hinkle Fieldhouse, and it's just a cool spot, man. Like if you're from Indiana and you understand the history of basketball in this state, like anybody who's been anybody as a player has found some way to get on the floor at Hinkle. You know, whether it was a pickup game in the summer or you know, an actual game, like you find a way to put yourself on that court. And it's just such a special place, and I had a lot of fun being back in there and excited to go back on Sunday.
It also seems like that it has had the best atmosphere, I think, so far as well, if you're looking for that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's smaller and more intimate. The fans are closer, you know, to you in that venue just by the way that it's set up. But, you know, our guys were excited to get in there. They were asking a bunch of questions about it. And obviously, since we won, they love being in there. So it was fun.
All right, you're watching film. What's to like? The preparation for the 2-seed Alabama. They have had a fantastic season to date.
Yeah, they're based a lot on analytics. You know, they're shooting layups or threes. They shoot a ton of threes. They really try to spread you out. The key for us is, you know, like I said, it's going to be for us on the defensive end. Can we keep the ball in front of us without having to overhelp? Can we be in the pocket of the shooters and try to force them, you know, into some long, tough contested twos, which they do not shoot. So, you know, we got our work cut out for us, but we're excited to be playing. We know what's at stake. We know what's in front of us. And our guys have been really, really good, you know, ever since we've arrived in Indianapolis, and their focus has kind of gone to another level. So they've been a really fun group to coach all year, and especially this last 10 days.
You guys in a routine right now here in the bubble in Indy? And if so, what is that routine daily?
Yeah, I don't know if you have a routine in this bubble, but you know, we took yesterday off. Obviously, we played 3 games in 5 days, and so we were off yesterday. And we got on the practice floor today, and after lunch, our guys got in a bus, and they had a thing set up for them at Top Golf, so they were able to get outside.
I had some friends say that you guys were over there. You got shout outs. So
they're going over there. So they're over there having a little bit of fun. I think more than anything, it's just good for them to get outside. Like I actually joined them. They took us to the zoo yesterday for about an hour, and it was just good to walk around outside because it hadn't been outside in over a week. And when you live in Southern California, you spend a lot of time outside. So that's been a little different for our guys. But they're having fun. They're excited to be here. We didn't have anybody on our roster that had ever competed in the NCAA tournament, and for those guys to come in here and play like this, they're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Have you transitioned into Mr. Hollywood now, Mr. Southern California? Because you used to be Mr. DuBois County when I knew you well. Are you made that transition now?
No, man, I'm not Hollywood. You know me, I'm not Hollywood. I'm an Indiana guy. Man. I'm from the heart of Southern Indiana, and proud of it. But it's been fun being out there. I work in a place that I work under 11 national championship banners every day. I'm from Jasper, Indiana. I got keys to Poly Pavilion. That's pretty cool. And I work for a great coach. I mean, a monster of a coach, and he's got more wins than anybody else under 50. He's one of 5 coaches that go to 10 consecutive NCAA tournaments. So it's a good position for me. I'm learning a ton, growing as a coach, and in year 2 to have this team in the Sweet 16. We lost our best player, in late December. We've had another one depart the team, and had our best recruit get stolen by the G League. So we're excited about being in the Sweet 16. We think it's a great step in year 2 for what we want to do and reestablish in UCLA as one of the premier programs in the country.
Fantastic college player in Assembly Hall, had keys to Hinkle. You have keys to Poly Pavilion. I'm hella jealous of you, man. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I should have stole a few of those keys and kept them in my pocket.
But nah, man. I mean, I know that's a lot of movement. And I know you got a fam and everything, but that's awesome. I mean, you ever have time, and you don't now, I'm sure, but to reflect on that path, that's an amazing path to me right there.
No, I do. I think about it quite a bit. It's one thing that with each move that I've made, I've always tried to, number one, make sure I'm going to a place where I'm going to be surrounded by high-level people. And also somebody that is maybe a little bit different than anybody else I've previously been around. Because I think the more times you are exposed to different things, the one thing that I think is one of my strengths is I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm very comfortable in my own skin.
Agree.
And part of that comes from I've been around, whether it was Coach Knight, Brad Stevens, Mike Miller at Eastern Illinois, who was the head coach of the Knicks, Mick Cronin, Chris Holtman, on down the line. Like I've seen guys have high level success in very different ways. And so I think what you pick up from that is like, hey, this can work for me. This doesn't work for me. And you can kind of find your own style. And I think that's been very valuable for me in my career, but one that has also been very calculated in my moves.
Yeah, and I know you're probably not going to go here, but people always ask me about the vacancy at your old place, and I always say, man, they need somebody that really gets it, and you're somebody that, to me, will always get it. And you talk about being comfortable in your own skin, and that is so invaluable. And sometimes, Michael, you don't realize that until the later stages. I mean, it's so invaluable to understand that and to hear that and to understand, what you're getting into and what you're about. I mean, those are values that not a lot of people, unfortunately, realize until it's too late. But it's cool to hear that from you.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it may be the best thing that I have going for me in my career. But like I said, it was calculated. It was, you don't just pick up and move your family across this country just for funsies. This is my career. This is what I've worked ever since I left Indiana. It's what I've worked on towards becoming the best at my job that I can possibly be. And you just try to put yourselves in the best possible positions, and then you just work like hell to do your job. And it's always led me to what's next. I've chased jobs in my career. I think you and I have talked about this before. and never got them. The jobs that I have gotten, things have approached and fell into my lap because of previous accomplishments and the work that I had done previously. And so I trust in that. I feel like I put myself in really good positions. I feel like I'm in a hell of a position right now, and just keep my head down and work.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to put you in a bad spot, so if you don't want to comment on it, you don't have to. But what's your thought, if you have any, on the situation in Bloomington right now?
Well, I think it's a hell of an opportunity. You know, I'm like a lot of other former players. I think I want them to find somebody that understands what Indiana basketball is about. That they get, like what you said, they get it. You know, I want somebody that can go into a recruit's living room and articulate what being an Indiana basketball player is all about, what it takes to be an Indiana basketball player, what it means to be an Indiana basketball player, what being an Indiana basketball player can do for them for the rest of their life. I want somebody that understands what competing against Purdue is all about. You know, I want somebody that gets our program, understands it, respects it, and then can go out and sell it. And who that is, that's for Scott to figure out. But I think the fan base deserves it. And the thing that bothers me the most is too many people today, fans, casual observers, have no idea what Indiana basketball is. It's been way too long since we were who we're supposed to be. So I want somebody in there that respects the history, understands what Indiana basketball can be, should be, and will be.
Perfectly said. I mean, you could not have said that entirety of your paragraph. Perfectly said. I mean, you could not have said that any better. Michael Lewis, UCLA assistant on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Before I let you go, I'm trying to get TJ on tomorrow. He has yet to get back with me. Did you know that TJ?
Well, he's busy, man. I mean, TJ Wolf is one of the busiest guys on our staff.
I was going to tell him too, because his niece. I'm the president of his niece's fan club because his niece and my daughter are on the same basketball team. So that's kind of how we all are intertwined, I guess, and how I've become a fan of UCLA basketball by virtue of that and watching what you guys are doing here inside the bubble in Indy. It's been pretty cool.
Well, that's great, and Wolf he's got the best last name because like you've seen the movie Pulp Fiction, right?
Oh, sure, he's the Wolf.
Yeah, and so the Wolf just kind of takes care of problems, right? And that's what Wolfie does for us, man. It's been great, and we laugh all the time. We got a couple dudes from Southern Indiana hanging out, coaching at UCLA. So it's been a lot of fun, and our guys have been great. Being back here in Indiana and in Indianapolis has been amazing. And so I'd like to stay a little bit longer. So we got some games to go win, and I'm excited to watch our guys compete on Sunday.
You know what else? I mean, Casaro. I talked to Casaro this morning. His sister's with the women's team in the bubble and playing well right now at UCLA.
I've ran across her a few times in the practice facility. She's had a really good career out there. They've got a fantastic team. So we're excited. I think they got a chance to put themselves into the Sweet 16 tonight as well.
Man, I'm really happy for you. I am. And let's do this again sometime soon. I mean, you just said, honestly, what needed to be said. And that's good because coming from me, it's just different. Coming from you, it has impact. Coming from me, it's just, this jackass doesn't know what he's talking about. But coming from you, what you said has impact, and I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm all in and doing this again. It's always fun catching up with you.
All right. If you have any time at some point, you get back here, let me know, man. We'll make a day to snitz a bonk and meet up down there or something.
I'm in.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
It's Michael Lewis of UCLA on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. What am I going to add to that? I mean, what kind of jackass would even try to add to that? That was perfectly said regarding IU. I'm going to tell you what, too. If the Wolf is good at fixing things, the Wolf needs to, send back a text here. Stat. The Wolf. That is awesome. I know. I didn't even tell Lewis. I'll tell Wolf that tomorrow if he's the Wolf out there. I came across Quentin Tarantino once upon a time in Southern California. He was actually a cool dude. Didn't know me from anybody, but he was cool as hell. Man, that was really good. It's Michael Lewis of UCLA, and congratulations to the Bruins. And then we'll look for the Wolf coming up on tomorrow's show. Michael Lewis, that podcast is up, 1075thefan.com. Back with you next.
Tune in to the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times on Indy's home for sports, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by Nissan.
We've been listening in on those two drivers, sir. Take a listen.
Nice work, Agent, whatever your name is.
Sorry, let me just dial in the frequency. Stand by.
This is a Nissan sales event ad. Got it?
They're saying it's a Nissan sales event ad.
Bravo, you cracked it.
But, wouldn't there be some sort of announcer, sir?
Give it a sec.
Secret's out. Hurry in for unbelievable savings at your local Nissan store or shop online at nissanusa.com. Get a low $229 per month lease on the 2021 Nissan Rogue or get 0% APR financing on 14 models. Well-qualified lessees, $49.59 initial payment for 36 months on 2021 Rogue. Initial payment amounts exclude tax, title, and license. Disposition fee due at lease end. Well-qualified buyer subject to NMAC credit approval. See dealer for financing details. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details, list of eligible models, and important safety information. Ends 3/31/21.
Hey, JMV here, and the tournament is down to 16, right? So if you've been watching from the sidelines, hey, let's get going here. Jump into the action with FanDuel Sportsbook. They're going to hook you up with exclusive 30-1 odds on all 16 teams left in the bracket. And what is the beautiful thing about this is they're going to let you do the one seeds. So you could jump in with 30-1 odds on Gonzaga or Baylor if you want to. Any team that you're thinking about, jump in with FanDuel Sportsbook. New users are going to get that 30-1 odds boost on any team. You can, take $150 just on a $5 bet. That is fantastic. 30-1 odds right now. FanDuel Sportsbook. Use that promo code JMV. Again, FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV right now. 21 plus and present in Indiana. New users only, must wager in designated offer market. $10 first deposit required. Max bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and there's a lot of great things about this time of the year. With the weather warming up, you've got flowers starting to bloom, and leaves are coming out on the trees and that. But you know what? The one thing about this time of year I absolutely hate is the fact that it's pothole season. Man, those potholes are a pain. Turns you into a Grand Prix driver out there on the roads. Well, if you need a little bit of help, obviously call your politician to get those things fixed. But in the meantime, in case you happen to hit one of those potholes, I sure hope you have AAA. A AAA membership gives you the peace of mind that no matter where you are or what kind of driving conditions you encounter, if you have any kind of car trouble whatsoever, all you have to do is call 844-GO-AAA-GO. That's 844-GO-AAA-GO, or go to AAA.com. And when you call, make sure you get that quote for AAA's auto, home, and life insurance, because you don't have to be stuck on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA. And with spring break coming up, that peace of mind that you and your family are taken care of out there on the roads is absolutely priceless. AAA.com or 844-GO-AAA-GO.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. It's no secret that the housing market is red hot. Homes are selling day one, and they're going for over list price. The competition is fierce. You have to be pre-approved and working with a strong mortgage lender. Get a leg up on the competition and get pre-approved now. The 21-day closing guarantee, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
All right, so now is the time, right? Now you're into it, because your lawn in the summertime is only as good as how you get things started in the early spring, and that's where Sunday comes in. It's a lawn care product that leaves all the guesswork out of it. Customized, a lawn plan for you and nobody else, just for you. No unwanted chemicals, a beautiful lawn, better for people, pets, and the planet, and this is all you got to do here. So getsunday.com. Log on right now, getsunday.com, and then type in your home address, and then let them go to work for you. They know the lay of the land, right? So they're going to come up with a solution that is best for your lawn at the beginning to make it look great. Later on this summer, it starts right here, using the soil, the climate to create a tailored nutrient plan just for you. That's getsunday.com. Go there right now and type in your address and let them go to work for you. And then they deliver the product directly to you. GetSunday.com/JMV. Take $20 off your custom lawn plan at checkout. That's GetSunday.com/JMV right now to get $20 off your custom lawn plan. It is easy and how it should be to get that beautiful lawn you're looking for. $20 off right now. GetSunday.com/JMV.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers, BetRivers.com. The madness continues. Nobody's giving you the chance to win more money than Bet Rivers is. And what I love about Bet Rivers, they make the in-game betting so easy. That's my favorite thing right now, is to bet these games while they're happening. You can win money real quick that way. BetRivers.com. Sign up right now. Must be 21 and over, a resident of Indiana, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's JMV for LD Smith Plumbing at 317-284-9526. They're the absolute best, and one thing you don't want to live without is a battery backup on your sump pump. And right now, LD Smith Plumbing is offering a free primary sump pump with installation on a battery backup system in your home. 317-284-9526. That's LD Smith Plumbing. The best at following CDC recommended guidelines. For more info online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Find the best odds in the country only on the free PropSwap app. Kevin Bowen here. You buy directly from other sports bettors who are ready to cash out. Join the rest of us and go to PropSwap.com right now.
Join me tomorrow. We're going to continue the conversation not only on the NCAA men's tournament, but on Indiana, who plays tonight. Join me tomorrow. We'll also have some coaches and some Colts talk.
The Ride with JMV.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Eddie's in here for Kyle. Kyle's going to take an early dinner break before the Pacer game tonight. Jay Michael talked about the Pacers, the NBA trade deadline, and more. Pacers and the Pistons tonight. 6:30 is the pregame show. 7 p is the tip from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. It is one of 3 month of March home games at Bankers Life Fieldhouse for the Pacers tonight. Jay Michael podcast, 1075thefan.com. And listen, IU fans, if you missed any of it, it missed any of Michael Lewis just now, double back and listen to it, especially what he has to say about IU. It is must listen, and it didn't even do me justice. Like, I feel uncomfortable even bringing it up now. It was so good, so appropriate, exactly what needs to be said, and that's that. It was great. Of course, Michael Lewis and UCLA working on that Sweet 16 matchup right now with Alabama coming up on Sunday night. That's at Hinkle Fieldhouse at 7:15. Earlier that afternoon on Sunday, the 5-seed Creighton, the 1-seed Gonzaga, also at Hinkle. It'll be a busy place. I think Hinkle has clearly been the best atmosphere so far, without question. Hey, JMV, what else would you expect from a Dubois County product? That's so true. And every time I bring up the Schnitzelbank, I'm thinking, man, I need some Schnitzelbank food, like right now. Every time. Steve writes this: I just saw 7 charter buses led by a police escort pull into Top Golf. Yeah, he said UCLA's up there right now. And Corey Kinney told me earlier there are a lot of buses up there. JMV, I enjoyed your conversation with Michael Lewis on my way to the field house. Just an idea, IU. Hire Michael or make he and Dane 5 co-head coaches and start having some fun again in Bloomington. It's from Jeremiah Johnson, Fox Sports Indiana. Getting ready for Pacers-Pistons pregame. Jim McCann, Southern California. Thanks, JMV. Absolutely outstanding conversation with Mike Lewis. I think we're lucky to have him in Southern California with the Bruins. Nah, it was really good. IU fans, especially if you missed it, podcast that up, 1075thefan.com. Anything goes at 6 o'clock. T.Y. Hilton is back. 1 year, $10 million. Kevin and Bowen and I will have a conversation about that. That is the news of the day, and KB joins us next.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
Archie Miller was not the guy. You can give me all your little names. That's fine, but I'm going to throw this out to you. Get somebody, for the love of all things holy, that can go out and energize a fan base that is sitting here dying to be energized. That's what you need in Indiana. You need somebody that is bigger than what the people for the program perceive.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, John here. Forum Credit Union for you. A month of April is coming up, right? I'm going to give you a bit of a heads up. It's coming up. It's National Credit Union Youth Month. So to celebrate, Forum Credit Union has a special savings challenge coming up for you with young savers in mind that can be beneficial for you. And also, you're going to be entered to win an Oculus Quest 2 in the process. It's awesome. We'll tell you more about that as we lead into April. We're also going to announce a new Sprout account winner with Forum Credit Union. The moral of the story here is Forum Credit Union, that's Kevin and the gang, in it for you financially, and just how much better you can be this year, making sure you have that financial stability, giving you great resources and incredible advice each and every day, and really a lot of opportunities for you to win stuff too, which is even better. That's Kevin and the gang at Forum Credit Union online, Forum CU. And by the way, Forum CU/Youth Month for more information on what's coming up in April. Forum Credit Union, that's forumcu.com today.
The 16 champions have advanced, and we're all using PropSwap, the #1 app to buy and sell sports bets. I'm Kevin Bowen, and let me tell you a little bit more about PropSwap. Many prop swappers have been buying and selling Loyola Chicago all year and pocketing thousands of dollars on Sister Jean and the Ramblers, and the winning keeps on coming for them. Last week, a seller prop swapped his $60 Loyola ticket into $5,000. How about Baylor? When all the sports books have the Baylor Bears odds at 3-1, Baylor is selling on PropSwap at 6-1. PropSwap has great tickets right now for sale on every team. Remember, PropSwap always has the best deals because you're buying directly from other sports bettors who've listed their tickets and are ready to cash out. If you're not buying and selling on PropSwap, you are missing out. On average, sellers are making $500 a month. So don't miss out. Go to PropSwap.com today and download the free PropSwap app.
If there was a group of people dedicated to training their members by the best professionals at state-of-the-art facilities, and those diverse members entered the workforce as the safest, most productive workers in the industry, if they were an economic force within their communities, and if they were the kind of citizens you'd be glad to have as neighbors, what would you call them? How about the 12,000 proud Hoosier men and women with the Laborers International Union of North America?
Hey, it's JMV. Last year was tough, and even tougher on me had I not got into Franciscan Health to have my colonoscopy. Right, Dr. Mon?
That's right, JMV. Because you made your health a priority and didn't put off your colonoscopy, we were able to remove your precancerous polyps before they had a chance to turn into cancer.
I know people that put off their screening. I'm glad I didn't.
1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime, and it's the second most common cause of cancer-related deaths. Putting off your routine colonoscopy is nothing to mess around with, but you can also take comfort that knowing that our cancer center is the first and only accredited program for rectal cancer care, and our team is committed to providing the highest level of care should you need it.
Don't put it off. Get to Franciscan Health. They make it so easy, and then you can sit around and watch hoop.
So don't put it off any longer. Go to franciscanhealth.org/colon-care to learn the facts.
Schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. Tell them JMV sent you.
Rick Edelman, award-winning radio host and founder of Edelman Financial Engines, takes questions on his radio show. Let's hear his answer on long-term care.
Hi, Rick. I'm worried about the cost of long-term care. Should I get insurance?
You're smart to ask, because 1 in 2 Americans over 65 will need long-term care. But do you need the insurance? It depends on your financial situation. If you're rich, you don't need insurance because you can afford the costs. If you're poor, Medicaid will pay for your care. But if you're in the middle class, the cost of care could push you and your spouse into poverty. Before you buy insurance, consider your complete finances, including your savings and investments. Get independent advice from someone who will give you the guidance you need and that's in your best interest.
That's Rick Edelman, founder of Edelman Financial Engines. If you're looking for a trusted partner, talk to one of our financial planners by calling 888-PLAN-RICK or visit rickedelman.com.
My name is Bill McQueen, and I own Perry Acoustics, a construction company here in the great state of Indiana. Each year, some construction companies misclassify their employees as independent contractors and illegally pay them cash under the table. That puts companies like mine that pay a good living wage and employee benefits at a major competitive disadvantage. These companies rob our state of over $400 million a year. Imagine what could be done for Hoosiers with that money.
Visit indianacip.com/tax fraud to learn how together we can tell them to stop stealing from Hoosiers.
Allergies, viruses, poor air quality. Just give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You are tuned into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Thursday on the Fan Morning Show, Kevin Bowen, Jeff Ricker talking NBA trade deadline, and we'll have some NCAA tournament coaches joining us from 7 to 10 a.m. on 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Get him a body bag! Yeah! All right.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Jay Michael a bit earlier, podcast that up prior to the NBA trade deadline coming up tomorrow. We discussed that and what's going on inside that Pacers locker room with Jay Michael a bit earlier. And Michael Lewis, an assistant at UCLA, and maybe most importantly, just hit it absolutely on the head, nailed it about IU and, you know, the expectations of a coach there. And, I mean, really, you don't need me to say anything about it. That's what needs to be heard right there. That's it. That is it. And if you missed it, that podcast, 1075thefan.com. Anything goes coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now, the big news around here of the day is T.Y. Hilton, 1 year, $10 million. And joining us to talk about it from 1075thefan.com. And he's going to be co-hosting again tomorrow morning with Jeff on the morning show. Kevin Bowen's with us. 1 year and $10 million. What does that tell you about the type of market that was out there for T.Y. Hilton and other wide receivers this free agency period?
You know, John, clearly the market was not very robust for anybody. I mean, that's a smaller deal than Juju Smith-Schuster got, right?
Yeah.
Juju got less than 10. So, you know, even if you put the age to the side, I just think in general that position continues to get a little bit more devalued. I know Kenny Galladay's number was big, but I think with how the college game's evolved and just even we saw it last year. I mean, Michael Pittman was what, the 6th or 7th wideout taken?
Yeah.
And he was pick number 34. So I also think in general you look at 30-year-old players, and he'll be 32 in November, and Xavier Rhodes was, I think, 31. I just don't think teams are ready to give multi-year deals to those guys. You know, I particularly thought Rhodes would seek out the biggest payday and get some multi-year deal and cash in. And I thought Hilton would at least have some of those opportunities, but clearly he did not, because that's what he wanted. You know, he wanted to come back, but he wanted a multi-year deal, and he hasn't got that. So, but yeah, I would say in general it's more of the position. And then a little bit of depth at that position group as well.
So Kevin Bowen with us. So Sammy Watkins in here today meeting with the Colts. What does that mean for his possibility of being here?
So I posted something on the site a few hours ago, John. Frank Reich was on a podcast earlier and actually gave some rather candid comments about Watkins and the visit. And me reading between the lines on those comments, it sounded a little bit either or, like plan B type of move. Now, T.Y. Hilton and Sammy Watkins are much different players, but that's the impression I got. Now, me personally, clearly got cap space to bring in a Sammy Watkins or some other wideout, and I think that's what you have to keep in mind. Looking at your wideout room, And in my opinion, you need insurance in that group because no position has underperformed more
right
for this team over the last 6 or 7 years than wideout. So that's why I would make an additional move there. But the skill set of that additional move, should it be more Paris Campbell like? Because he's the one you're most worried about. Watkins is not, he's not Michael Pittman by any means from a size standpoint. But I think in Kansas City, he kind of turned into a little bit more of a possession guy. So I think that's something that is a possibility. Again, in my eyes, I know some people said, "Oh, it's deep. Go down that wideout path in the draft as well." But I start counting up draft picks, and I'm like, boy, left tackle, edge rusher. I think tight end should be in play. I think there is a little bit of depth still in free agency where maybe that's the route to kind of get a mid-level guy in here to help out that room.
Yeah, the thing about two wide receivers, and maybe I'm becoming ancient in my viewpoint of wide receivers because it seems like now across the NFL they view wide receivers coming out of college more ready-made and quickly able to help than maybe they do spending a lot of money on a free agent wide receiver like we have seen across the board, I think, in this free agency period. You think that plays a role in it as well?
I think that's part of it. I almost don't know if they are more ready-made, John, or if there's just more of them in general.
Think so? Yeah.
Because I just think quantity-wise, there's more of them. Again, Pittman is the 7th wideout off the board. The reason why I thought Pittman would come in here and be instant impact was because he came from such a pro-style system, dealt with different offensive coordinators, different quarterbacks. I felt like he kind of been through a bit of a grind in college. He's not like Desmond Patman. Desmond Patman goes to Washington State where they're playing 8 wide receivers a game and everybody's catching balls. Like that to me is a little bit different you're coming from a vastly different offensive system in college, a little bit more raw. So yes, you play wideout. It's intriguing. There's more wideouts on the field than there is, tight ends or, even multiple running backs like it might have been in, older days of I formation and whatnot. I think that plays into some of it. And I guess one additional thing on Hilton, John, I feel like what we saw from T.Y. last year, I think he had a career low in receptions per game. And I feel like what Carson Wentz can do and needs to do is just make the most out of those touches for Hilton. Hilton is, first off, he's never been a big 7-8 catch guy a game. That's just never been his MO. But with 4 or 5 catches, big plays in those 4 or 5 catches. Now, he didn't do a lot of that. There were times last year, the Houston games, the Raiders game, where he did that. I think that's where Carson Wentz can get back to getting T.Y. Hilton to be 5 catches for 95 yards, and one of those is a 40-yard big play over the top where he scores or he's setting you up for a short field. That's where I felt like him and Rivers never got on the same page. Yeah, he drew some pass interference penalties. Yeah, he had the drop against the Vikings. But I think it's foolish for us to think Hilton's going to be a 7 or 8 catch guy. But I think it's realistic to think he can still be a 3 or 4 catch guy, and then potentially one of those 3 or 4 catches, becomes a big play. And I think that's what this offense really could use.
It's Kevin and Rosie Bowen joining us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now. That's outstanding in the background. Absolutely outstanding, and I love it. Now I feel bad.
I got a big –
Go ahead.
Mom's like, I got a big call from 4:30 to 5:30. She's like, I'm like, well, I just got JMV. So,
that's all right.
It's just a weekly JMV segment. And
I would have brought you in a different song if I knew Rosie was going to be right there. So I didn't bring you in with the right song.
We're trying to calm her down with a few puffs. So we'll keep the puffs going.
That's what they do to me, too. That's what I've done. I used to do that back in my 20s. Not really. I'm just joking. So
there's a bag of Cheetos in the corner, John. Just go ahead.
Just joking. All right. Who would you value more? I mean, for example, you mentioned Sammy Watkins being in here today. And at some point, we do expect for Zach Ertz to be released and then be available. And I actually asked last week Carson Wentz, if he were to be available, would you like to have him here? And he said yes. I was surprised he actually talked about it in general during that moment. But who do you think would be more valuable for this team if the Colts were looking at either one of these offensive weapons?
Yeah, first off, I was glad you asked him that question, and thank you as well for that Michael Pittman interview. I thought
cool.
That was great on Friday. So
nice.
For those that might have missed it, definitely check that out. To me, Ertz, I want a little bit more pop. I want a little bit more athleticism.
Sure.
I just don't think Ertz is that player that really diversifies your kind of tight end group and really just your skill group in general. So that's kind of how I'm viewing that need at tight end of, is there that guy in the draft that, whatever, has the basketball background, more of the athletic build that can be somewhat of a vertical presence to you. Now, obviously, Carson was, seemed very interested in having Zach Ertz, follow him here to Indianapolis, and it wouldn't be a horrible option by any means, but I just tend to think, can you get a little bit younger at that position with Jack Doyle, turning 31 here in a couple months as well, and just a little bit more explosive than maybe how you currently look there.
All right. Anything else pique your interest? I know that you were excited about Sam Tevi. Sam Tevi is higher rated, according to Pro Football Focus, than LaRaven Clark was. Just barely.
Yeah, and I think Julian Davenport was just above Chaz Green. So, yeah. Upgrades.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they just going to be kind of a battle for the offensive line, or do they expect one of those two dudes to be efficiently some sort of support and or backup for the starters?
Yeah, it better be a backup. I mean, I know Carson Wentz can move better than Phillip Rivers, but you are relying on your offensive line to continue to be the strength of this football team. So I think it's an absolute must that you find, again, that early draft pick and are able to hit on that early draft pick as a left tackle. I think that's huge. So I look at Tevi and Davenport, and, Davenport hasn't officially signed. I think Zach Kiefer has had that. But I think what's key, John, is what Chris Ballard failed to do last year with offensive line depth is no one had any recent experience. I mentioned this earlier today on the morning show. No backup offensive lineman entering training camp had played a snap in the NFL last season, like entering the 2020 training camp. No one had played an offensive snap in 2019. So when you look at Tevi, when you look at Davenport, even Will Holden, who's on your roster, at least those guys took some snaps last year or have starts in the NFL. And I also think, in all seriousness, with LaRaven Clark, he's a free agent and he tore his Achilles in December. So that doesn't bode well, for you expecting him to do anything for you early in the year. So that's kind of how I look at offensive line. By no means should these guys be, frankly, in my opinion, I don't think they should be in competition to be starting at all. I think you throw all the mediocre resumes into the pool and say, all right, who wants to be the 7th, 8th offensive lineman, something like that.
So Kevin Bowen with us. To this date, how do you think Chris Ballard has handled free agency? And is there anything at all? I know this, and the point is they got 3 dudes they're going to have to longer term take care of here relatively soon. And I know that plays beyond a significant role. But do you think working free agency coming out of a pandemic season with no fans, does financially that play a role in this too at all? Because it never has with Jim Irsay in the past, but has it in this free agency period?
Not with the Colts, if you take Jim Irsay at his word. I mean, he made that very clear when he met with us last week that in no way, shape, or form is the pandemic impacting their lack of spending. For the most part, I've agreed with a lot of what Chris Ballard has done in free agency, but what I had as the most important thing to get done in free agency was to find an upper-level edge rusher. And, as we are over a week now into it, he clearly has not done that. And I think that's a big-time missed opportunity. I was talking about this, maybe with you last week a little bit, but I get building through the draft. I certainly get that's how you have to construct your roster. But for those of people out there that think free agency is just this black hole and nothing good can happen from free agency, that to me is just a ludicrous statement. You can find quality talent. Some years you can find relatively young talent, and this year was one of those years at edge rusher to where you could go down that path and get that out of free agency. And that's where I really think there was a big mischance by the Colts in not addressing a position that is of big-time importance and also a position that you just haven't drafted well. So that, to me, is probably how I'll remember, like, this chunk of the offseason. Like, that kind of defines it. But, I mean, all the other moves, Xavier Rhodes and Hilton and Marlon Mack, I actually think Isaac Rochelle is a fine rotational defensive lineman. You've added a little bit of depth to your offensive line. I mean, all of those moves I could get behind. But pass rush, to me, has been a big-time miss.
Do you think with the moves, with Rhodes and with Hilton especially here, with the one-year deals, is that a product financially of the pandemic at both of those positions in free agency?
Yeah, that's probably a fair statement. And it goes back to, I guess, what I said earlier just about their age, John. I mean,
sure.
I think especially Rhodes. I mean, what Rhodes did last season, man. And I don't know if people are like, well, because he played more of in his own defense, and we play a bunch of man, and we don't think Rhodes can do that in man. I don't know. Maybe that played into his lack of a market. But boy, he had a really strong season, and I thought he'd get at least a 2-year deal, chase it, and ride off into the sunset. And I guess kind of going back to your earlier point about the extensions, and I know Peter King ran with this narrative on Monday, and we saw Schefter and Rappaport do it last week. It's just not true. Like, people that are thinking that the extensions for Darius Leonard and Braden Smith, because the Quentin Nelson extension, it does not need to happen this offseason or even next offseason. Like, you have him under team control if you want through at least 2022. That's not restricting the Colts. What is restricting the Colts from spending is Chris Ballard's approach, like flat out. That is what is holding them back. It's not necessarily, oh my gosh, if you give Leonard top market, you give Braden Smith a big-time contract, the Colts will have no cap space. No. You can easily manipulate the cap to where you're still in a decent cap situation moving forward, even with making those re-signings. But I think clearly, even with the contracts for Hilton and Rhodes, the fact that they're only 1-year deals for those two guys shows you how hesitant Chris is to put any money on the books past 2022. I mean, think about it. You've signed, I guess Davenport will be the 6th guy you sign. I think all 6 of them are 1-year contracts. I don't think anybody signed so far has been a multi-year deal. So that just goes to show you he wants all this money up front and doesn't want anything moving forward.
Yeah, I mentioned this last week too because Schefter had it and then talked about what you referenced, and then Peter King did in his Monday morning quarterback thing. And to me, that kind of reeks as somebody trying to calm the Colts crowd fan base down a little bit about the lack of movement. It seems like somebody from over there, I think, they knew this already, but kind of, how should I say it, re-solidified that point to two of the more followed NFL writers and reporters in the business right now. That's how it's sniffed to me. You?
Yes. I was smelling the same thing. What was it? I mean, literally Rappaport and Schefter tweeted it out within like 3 minutes of each other.
Well, they always do that too. Sometimes you wonder if Rappaport just doesn't like copy and paste what he says and then go right after him. That's what because he's 50 seconds to a minute and a half behind every single time.
Right. Yeah. Let me just change.
So,
change where I put sources said in the tweet and then just fire it off there. So, again, John, that is not what's completely holding them back. Yeah. You can do both. You can give, if you want to construct the contract how you would like, you can push a little bit of the Leonard money. And that's, I guess, where I'm a little bit disagreeing with the Colts because Darius Leonard and Braden Smith and Quentin Nelson. And again, Nelson does not need to happen this offseason. Without question, they are cornerstone guys that are going to be on your football team for the next handful of seasons, without a doubt. So to me, putting a bit of that money in the back end of their deals, that's fine. Braden Smith isn't going anywhere. Darius Leonard isn't going anywhere. Like, you're going to pay those guys, and they're going to be big-time pillar players for you for the next 4 or 5 years. And you would still have the money to make a move for a Carl Lawson or insert whichever edge rusher that you like here. Because, I mean, for the most part, John, the Colts are really just kind of running it back.
Yeah, there's a lot of that for sure. There's a lot of that, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier. There's a lot dependent on the quarterback position, and we also have to keep in mind the numbers that Phillip Rivers put up, and especially the amount of wins in the regular season that Phillip Rivers put up. That was impressive, and that's going to be tough to come by this year. I mean, even if you do believe that Carson Wentz is going to bounce back and be in a much better place, those are lofty numbers to try to reach.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we all agree Carson Wentz long term certainly gives you a better chance.
No question. Yes.
Than Phillip Rivers. But here in the short term, yeah, it'd be pretty short sighted to act like it's a slam dunk guarantee. I think there's more potential there with Wentz. But again, I think it just comes down to pass rusher. That's been the one big head scratcher. I really like a lot of the other moves, and we'll see how the final couple of weeks plays out here in free agency. But it just seems like you are, again, putting too much pressure on the draft. And you've hit on a lot of picks there, but you haven't hit on them at edge rusher. And that's where that would be my one gripe.
Kevin Bowen's with us. Before I let you go, Pacers-Pistons tonight. The Pacers have a losing skid at Bankers Life Fieldhouse that better be remedied against a really bad team in the Pistons coming up tonight. And then you're thinking about the trade deadline tomorrow. You think the Pacers do anything whatsoever? We talked to J. Michael earlier. He had no expectation there. Do you?
No, I don't. No, I would.
And I mean either way, too, sell or buy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're buying. I guess you do have a first-round pick, but I don't. That would be pretty foolish to me. I think a minor sell would make a lot of sense. And of course, I'm looking at a Doug McDermott, an Aaron Holiday, a T.J. McConnell, a Jeremy Lamb. That's what I'm looking at. Of can you somehow get a team that's super desperate to say, all right, first-round pick. LeBron's hurt. Anthony Davis is hurt. The West has opened up a little bit, in our eyes. We'll do anything to get a player that we think can help out our second unit. That would be the path that I'd be listening to quite a lot here in the next 24 hours.
And I don't think they have what the Lakers would be looking for in this, right? I mean, the Lakers would be looking for a Kyle Lowry or an Aaron Gordon or somebody like that more so than what they'd be looking at somebody here.
Right, but I'm talking about even other teams out west that might think.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Lakers specifically. All right.
Does Portland? Does Phoenix? I don't know. I'm just throwing out some teams that maybe think. Does Utah feel like here's our opportunity right now to cash in? But I think the Pacers will fall into the belief and the trap of 10 teams make the playoffs because there's the 2 play-in spots and. As long as we have a chance, blah, blah, blah. And I know the optics won't look great if you miss the playoffs after firing Nate McMillan, but frankly, I don't really care what the optics look like. It's not a full building in there. You don't have that excuse to fall back on. I think this is a multiple-year thing with a lot of your core under contract, and it's a first-year head coach who has been dealt not a great card from an injury standpoint. And I think if the opportunity is there to get a first-round pick, I don't know how you turn that down, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's probably going to be just the way that it is, and then you'll wait and see. I guess the schedule, I mean, really, what schedule wouldn't be easier after the month they've had in March? But,
right.
Yeah, we'll see. And the T.J. Warren right before the postseason stuff is kind of iffy to me, so...
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. And I mean, I'm not a big tank guy, and I hate like that sort of mindset. But I think when you're running a franchise in this market, I think you got to be really honest with yourself. And I know the schedule softens up in April, but John, this team, if this team gets into 6 games against Brooklyn, Philly, or Milwaukee, they should have a parade around Monument Circle. Like, I mean, you've gotten run out of the gym when you've played those teams. And sometimes they haven't even been at full strength. And I know Monday night you obviously had your own personnel issues, but I just don't see a 6, 7, 8 seed leading to any sort of realistic chance of winning a first-round series. And again, I don't love saying that. It's not something that you want, but the injury card has, been what it has, and this team has struggled in fourth quarters as well. And I don't know if all of a sudden a soft schedule in April is going to be, oh, wow, here come the Pacers, and they're the 4 or the 5 seed, and they're beating, Boston or Miami in a series.
Saw Malik Hooker was in Dallas today. Do you think that's where he restarts his career?
I saw that, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know a whole lot about Dallas and their defense. It doesn't strike me as their secondary being a huge strength, but I'm certainly interested to see where he ends up. And, and I mean, does Justin Houston come back here? Like, are you at that point?
Why not? I mean, he's probably. Would you rather have Justin Houston back or Melvin Ingram?
Oh boy, I guess maybe Houston. I don't know. Has he been a little healthier recently? I don't know. Part of me is like, I'd rather see the one I haven't seen over the last few years. But I don't want that. It sounds like too much of a knock on Houston. He's had some decent moments, but too much disappearing act for me over a 16-game season. But again, if not Houston, who? And I think those are, very fair questions to ask. So, yeah, I mean, he is the one. I feel like they still got to do something at edge rush. We talked to Isaac Rochelle today, who they signed, last week. And I was like, just to clarify, you were kind of a defensive end on rundowns, and then you moved to the inside on pass downs. And he was like, yeah, that's what I did. So, I mean, he's not even that third down edge rusher that you really think of. And I know Kamoko Terry is part of that, but his health is certainly a question. And then I just think you got to find someone else opposite, because you can never have too much at that position group. Houston, Ingram, or Kerrigan? Ooh, boy. I wouldn't mind Kerrigan. I mean, he's been really durable, and I think a little banged up last year and really productive. You'd think highly motivated coming back somewhat home. But at the same time, they're all just – and this goes back to my argument earlier, John. Like, they're all north of 30.
Yeah. There
was a chance there for some 26, 27, 28-year-old edge rushers that I think could have offered more of a long-term. That group, I don't know, maybe Kerrigan, but I don't really love any of it.
It's Kevin Bowen and Rosie, 1075thefan.com via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Back in here tomorrow morning with Jeff, correct, at 7?
Yes, sir. Yep. And I hopefully Rosie wasn't
all
too
good,
loud during
man.
that segment,
Nah, it was all good. Really all good, man. There's no problem whatsoever. Hey, well done. I appreciate you. We'll talk again soon. Thanks, Kev.
Yep, John. Talk to you next week.
So Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com. Michael Lewis, Kevin Bowen podcast each. 1075thefan.com. Anything goes, top of the hour. You, me, until then at 239-1070. We are back with you next.
Hey, basketball fans. This season, make sure you're watching all the games with an ice-cold Dos Equis. Check 1075thefan.com to see when and where Dos Equis and the Fan will be with fun prizes and more.
Hey, John for Love, Heating and Air, 317-353-2141. Let's make that transition with John and Chris Love, making sure that your HVAC is performing the way that it should. So, again, we make that transition from winter to spring. Sometimes things can go wrong. You might need a clean. You might need a tune, but you want to make sure things are running smoothly as we approach the warmer weather months, and you have to turn on that cool. That's where John and Chris Love come in, 317-353-2141. 317-353-2141. And also, if you're thinking about air purification in your home, the state-of-the-art iWave is what they have at Love Heating and Air, and they're going to give you $125 off just by mentioning my name. So you say, hey, I heard this on JMV, you're going to get $125 off the state-of-the-art iWave at Love Heating and Air. 317-353-2141. It's online, love-hvac.com today.
Now is the time to cheer on your Indiana Pacers live inside Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
Line pass over the shoulder as he cut across the baseline right to left. Turner took it and dunked it.
Single-game Pacer tickets are now on sale, and a safe fan experience is our top priority.
Sabonis, McDermott,
let it go.
Brogdon for three. Got it! Malcolm Brogdon!
It's a Central Division showdown with the Detroit Pistons on Wednesday. Get tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Pistons, Wednesday at 7.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Wednesday at their Bourbon and Brews party. Get to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 p.m. to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Twin Peaks, 82nd Street and I-69.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. All March, Indy is tourney town, and our mascot, Brian Baby Boomer Weddle, is in tryouts to make the team.
Hey, Coach Rob, can I stop running now?
Listen up, Baby Boomer. We have a strong game plan to win this month, and if you want to make the team, you gotta keep up with the plays. Our first play is $15,000 off 2020 F-150s.
$15,000 off F-150s. That's a great play.
And we're running $8,000 off 2020 Escapes.
$8,000 off 2020 Escapes. Another great play. Wait, how many plays are we running at once?
That's a coaching decision, Brian. We also have over 200 nearly new vehicles ready to get in the game.
And we can give you the assist with $2,000 more for your trade.
Now you got it. I'm promoting you to team captain. Keep that mascot suit, though.
Why?
Because you're doing both jobs now, captain and mascot.
I think that's impossible, Rob.
There's no I in Estes, Brian. All March, get $15,000 off any 2020 F-150 or $8,000 off any 2020 Escape. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Hey, John, for Forum Credit Union here. This reminder, we're coming up on April, and April is National Credit Union Youth Month. And Forum Credit Union is going to help you celebrate with special savings and a challenge that could get you a brand new Oculus Quest 2. Now, more info on that and how you can also save as well in the weeks to come. But also reminding you, we're going to announce coming up at the end of this week our next Sprout account winner from Forum Credit Union. Just so many ways that you can save, so many fun ways they give you advice and resources to make sure you are in a better financial situation today than you were yesterday. That's Kevin and the gang at Forum Credit Union. If you want to meet with them, set your appointment today or for all the ways you can save. Great advice and more. Log on right now. forumcu.com today.
Small business owners, is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds? Sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
We go out as a group of guys and former players, and they are just blown away with how great my hair looks. I did the multi-unit hair grafting because I was tired of having to wear a hat.
My friend Rick DeMulling, Indiana's own former professional football player, and I both know We Grow Hair Indy is the most trusted medical hair restoration clinic and the only company in the Midwest that has the ARTIST robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting. Call 888-724-5129 or go to WeGrowHairIndy.com. We Grow Hair Indy PRP treatments helps me keep my non-transplanted hair. Takes about 45 minutes, and this busy world, it's perfect.
Having the hair that I have now has just given me confidence and just making me feel good about myself.
This year, restore your confidence and grow your hair back. Call for a free in-office or virtual evaluation. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com. Today, that's 888-724-5129.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. It's no secret that the housing market is red hot. Homes are selling day one and they're going for over list price. Some folks are making offers on homes that they haven't even seen in person. The competition is fierce. You have to be pre-approved and working with a strong mortgage lender. Get a leg up on the competition and get pre-approved now. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
PropSwap is America's exclusive #1 app to buy and sell sports bets. Kevin Bowen here. PropSwap is a huge advantage that I use to find the best odds in the country. Download the free PropSwap app today.
The Ride with JMV.
It's Jim Perry. Now talk to him, damn it.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
J. Michael, Kevin Bowen, Michael Lewis Podcast, 1075thefan.com. Inside the lounge on YouTube Live, Mike Cole says it's 75 degrees in southern Kentucky. Is that around Franklin, Kentucky? Something called 48 Minutes at 48 Minutes suggesting that the Clippers are looking at former, well, this is from their words, not mine. We just know him as Pacer guard Aaron Holiday. Clippers reportedly looking at, prior to the trade deadline, Aaron Holiday. We'll see if there's any truth to that. We'll see if anything happens prior to the trade deadline. Pacers and Pistons coming up tonight. 6:30 is your pregame coverage. 7 o'clock is when they will tip it up. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. JMV. When I was in 6th grade playing at Edgewood Junior High, TJ Wolf brought the ball down the floor and hit 3 3-pointers in a row inside the volleyball line to start the game. Where is he now, Nate? He is an assistant coach at UCLA, and I believe he's going to join us tomorrow. He is on Mick Cronin's staff at UCLA. That's true. Thank you, Nate, for that. I do know that. JMV, I do hope you know TJ's nickname is Hook, as in Hooker, as in TJ Hooker. Yes, I am well aware of that, but thank you. Hey, JMV, Naheem Hines led the team in receptions a year ago. With Matt coming back, could we see Hines on the field more at wide receiver since Matt can spell Taylor? I think you're going to see Hines in that hybrid spot as you normally see him in. But I'm certainly glad they finally realized that they needed to use him a lot more than what they did at the beginning of the season. Certainly will give you that. Fantastically done. Hey, JMV, do you think that the Colts could end up with Sammy Watkins too? I'm going to doubt it. T.Y. Hilton 1 year, $10 million. I'm going to go ahead and doubt it. But it could be. Because Caleb brings up a great point here. Hey, JMV, nobody can tell me that Ballard didn't know the deal was going to get done with Hilton. The fact that he is still bringing Watkins in for an interview tells me that they're looking to sign both Hilton and Watkins. But, hey, what do I know? I'm not suggesting there's no truth to that. Because, yes, you're absolutely right. JMV, that is the cheer you're going to hear next year. Overpaid. They still need a number one. T.Y. Hilton, 1 year and $10 million to re-sign with the Colts. Hey, JMV, I heard Michael Lewis a little bit earlier, and he said exactly what IU folks need to hear. And you are absolutely right. I didn't need to say it. He said it. And he was right about it. Absolutely right. He was really good in what he said earlier. So, yeah, listen, IU fans, I know if you have time and you missed the conversation with Michael Lewis earlier, you need to double back and catch it at 1075thefan.com. It was that good. It was that good. Hey, JMV, I hear you talk about the Schnitzelbank restaurant in Jasper all the time. I've never been there. How good is it? It is awesome. It is great. And here's what you need to do. And this is what I'm going to do at some point. When I have a Saturday off or something, I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to rent a room at the Hilton. The Hampton Inn, which is right across the parking lot. And I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to eat, and I'm going to get inside the Das Boot. And then when I'm done and they close up, I'm going to stumble across the parking lot and pass out in a bed at the Hampton Inn. That is my vacation right there. At some point, that's going to be my vacation. But now to answer your question, spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. So check it out. I mean, great menu. A staple of Southern Indiana restaurants forever, too. Robert Jones tweets at me and Kevin Bowen. Sounds like you both would do a better job than Ballard. That sounds as if it reeks of sarcasm. True? Yeah, listen, sometimes you have a show and you offer up opinions and you have different ideas. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think we've ever been on the same page as far as the value at wide receiver, and I'm guessing we're never going to be on the same page as far as the value at wide receiver is concerned. It's all right. Differing of opinions, what makes it right here? Let me take a quick break. I want to do Anything Goes coming up at the top of the hour. And if you don't know what Anything Goes entails, it's me and you call in at 239-1070. Eddie's in here for Kyle right now. He doesn't check you in. Nothing like that. He just puts you on hold, and then you jump on and you talk about whatever you want to talk about. Like, for example, I get this. JMV, I know it's not Anything Goes just yet, but this weather outside looks like it's a bison meat grilling night. It does look like a bison meat grilling night for me tonight. It does. I think bison is going to be on the menu when I get home. See, it's stuff like that happens in Anything Goes. And then other stuff you want to talk about, we'll do it coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. It is called Anything Goes. Quick break. Back with you next.
Join the Fans Bracket Challenge presented by PropSwap on 1075thefan.com today. Test your picks against other basketball fans from The Fan.
Hey, it's John for LD Smith Plumbing. You know, I talk to Lance all the time, and he gives me these texts and say, hey, this is something maybe we should talk about. And the other day, he actually texted me and said, bring up sump pumps. And it was a great idea because I think I need to bring up my own sump pump. So we've got double battery backup on it because the last thing I want, because I've had it in the past without it, is water in the basement. And you're probably on the same page with me. And I know it doesn't look it outside right now, but at some point, I think at the end of this week, it is going to rain, and it is going to rain a lot. The land around your home gets saturated, and that can have an effect on your sump pump if it's not doing the job correctly or needs checked. And that's where Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing come in to help you out with that in mind. At 317-284-9526. They are local. They are the best, and they can do any job, large or small, or any plumbing emergency you might have. And that's the other part about this. I want to make sure you have this number in case something does. Any type of plumbing situation happens and goes wrong, and you need to have somebody having your back at that moment. Lance and his team have your back. 317-284-9526. Right now, you mentioned my name. They're going to give you $50 off any service at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526 online. The best, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
When you place a wager with William Hill Sportsbook, every sports moment is even more interesting. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF. Must be physically present in Indiana. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
Hey, John for Diamonds Direct. All right, this time of year, normally, you're thinking about, especially taking relationships to the next level. I know that there are a lot of anniversaries, a lot of benchmark celebration moments to take part in, graduations, for example. What I'm trying to tell you, from that or just that perfect engagement ring, for that perfect moment, there's one place and one place only to go to make sure you absolutely, as they say, check every box. That's what they do at Diamonds Direct. And here's where we start. The selection is absolutely unmatched. And you know me, I live hassle-free, or at least want to live hassle-free, and that's part of it too. You go one-stop shopping right there. They're going to tell you everything about what you're getting into, about what you're buying, what it entails, the value, everything. It's a complete diamond education. They're going to give you absolutely unmatched warranties, unmatched guarantees, and a price tag to match. So whatever benchmark celebration it might be, an anniversary, a graduation, a birthday, or if you're looking to take that relationship to the next level, one-stop, hassle-free shopping at one place. It's Diamonds Direct, the official jeweler of the Colts. That's Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
This year has reminded us of the importance of saving for the unexpected. And as a bank, our job is to make that a little easier for everyone. That's why at Huntington, we're so proud to introduce Money Scout. It analyzes your checking account to find money that's not being used and moves it to your savings automatically. It's that simple, so you can always be saving, even now. Learn more and enroll at huntington.com/moneyscout. Huntington, welcome. Money Scout is subject to eligibility, terms and conditions, and other account agreements. Member FDIC.
We've been listening in on those two drivers, sir. Take a listen.
Nice work, Agent, whatever your name is.
Sorry, let me just dial in the frequency. Stand by.
This is a Nissan sales event ad. Got it?
They're saying it's a Nissan sales event ad.
Bravo, you cracked it.
But, wouldn't there be some sort of announcer, sir?
Give it a sec.
Secret's out. Hurry in for unbelievable savings at your local Nissan store or shop online at nissanusa.com. Get a low $229 per month lease on the 2021 Nissan Rogue or get 0% APR financing on 14 models. Well-qualified lessees, $49.59 initial payment for 36 months on 2021 Rogue. Initial payment amounts exclude tax, title, and license. Disposition fee due at lease end. Well-qualified buyer subject to NMAC credit approval. See dealer for financing details. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details, list of eligible models, and important safety information. Ends 3/31/21.
Rick Edelman, #1 New York Times bestselling author and founder of Edelman Financial Engines, takes questions on his hit radio show. Let's listen to Rick help a caller who's saving for retirement.
Hey, Rick, how can I keep my retirement money safe?
By taking some risk. That sounds weird, I know, but when it comes to saving for retirement, if you try to keep your money safe, you're actually taking big risks. Savings accounts, well, they're not safe from inflation. They're not safe from taxes. There are, in fact, 18 different asset classes, and they all have different risks. So spread your money around, so no one thing can wipe you out. It's like having 12 eggs in 12 baskets. Diversification helps you manage your risk while still giving you the opportunities provided by the financial markets.
That was award-winning radio host Rick Edelman. Get help diversifying your portfolio from one of our financial planners by calling 888-PLAN-RICK or visit rickedelman.com.
Hey, John here for Connecticut Water, the absolute best out there. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Back in the day, I didn't think too much about the water, right? It was water. But now you do, because it has an effect on everything. The smell, the taste, how it feels on your skin, to how it washes your clothes, to how it can affect your appliances and the life of that. It's so much, too. That's why I go with the best. Joe, John, and Dennis, and Connecticut. Seriously, the best and a huge difference. If you don't have Connecticut, you don't have the best, and they're going to give you an opportunity to get the best right now. And here's how you can do it. So $200 off your new equipment purchase when you mention you heard it from me. That's $200 off your new equipment purchase, Connecticut-wise. Just tell them you heard it right here. That is a great deal you can get at the two locations, Northeast Side, Castleton, Southside US 31 and Southport Road. Download the Connecticut Water app to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook wants you to experience Rush Pay. When you want to cash out your winnings, you don't want to wait 2 days just to get the go-ahead to withdraw your money. That's why Bet Rivers created Rush Pay. With Rush Pay, 80% of withdrawal requests are approved instantly, meaning you'll get your money faster. Why wait? Get your cash when you want it. Bet with a winner. Bet with Bet Rivers Sportsbook at betrivers.com. Must be 21 and located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Mortgage interest rates have started to rise. At the Home Loan Expert office, we are still locking loans in the twos. How much can you save? TheHomeLoanExpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
The Pacers return home to take on the Detroit Pistons this evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, this dated 86, Van Halen. 7th studio album. Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts, knows exactly what I'm talking about here. Album 5150. The first with Blank as the new lead vocalist. Eddie.
Going with Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar's The Blank. This date in 1984 was the date the 5 students, if you remember, spent their Saturday in detention and became legendary in the film The Breakfast Club. That's the date 1984. Just so you know right there, a couple of things. JMV, I have a Schwartzy's 3 rules of eating out, and it's simple. Number 1, you have to get a lot of food. Check. Number 2, the food has to be above average or taste great. Number 3, the place can't be expensive. Schwartzy's rules. 2 out of the 3, the place is okay. 3 of 3 is awesome, the place to eat. And the Schnitzel Bonk is definitely 3 out of 3. Thanks for the hookup back in the volleyball season. We loved the place. I love it. I love the Schnitzel Bonk. It is, simply put, one of my favorites. And at some point for a vacation, I'm just going to go for a vacation and put the hammer on. It's great because right across the parking lot, I mean, really, I don't know, judging by that parking lot size, maybe 50 steps. You're right into the Hampton Inn and passing out into bed. It's a beautiful thing. Then an indoor pool. I could throw an indoor pool at my kids. By the way, at the half right now, the NCAA tournament round of 32 in San Antonio with the women, Indiana's got a 30-18 advantage over Belmont. 30-18 in that first half of play for the Indiana women. And get you updated on that. Big news of the day, the 1-year, $10 million deal, thus the return of Colts wide receiver T.Y. Hilton. And we discussed that with Kevin Bowen, among other things. NBA trade deadlines coming up tomorrow. Will the Pacers have any activity as a part of it? We shall see. Pacers get Detroit, one of 3 games in the month of March at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And the Pacers, this is a must-win. Must-win. JJ, if you're listening right now, bring this up on the pregame show tonight. This is a must-win situation. Must-win for the Pacers tonight. You snap that home losing streak. You beat a team that you sure as hell need to beat the hell out of. Must win. Now, lead with that. Dave Vetter is in the lounge on YouTube Live. I love everything Michael Lewis had to say. And Michael Lewis was really good a little bit earlier, talking about the job that he and the staff has done under Mick Cronin at UCLA, what that team has accomplished in winning 3 consecutive. And now into the Sweet 16. They get Creighton coming up on Sunday. Michael Lewis, the former Jasper High School standout, the former Hoosier, the former Butler assistant coach, and was also really good, really candid regarding the IU coaching job too. As a former player, what he expects, it was something I think you all need to listen to. If you're an IU basketball fan, you do. That podcast, 1075thefan.com. Jay Michael talked NBA trade deadline. There's some situations going on in the Pacer locker room that he equated to a rookie head coach. And that podcast with Jay Michael, 1075thefan.com. Mike Deaton says Chris Wright's jacket off must win declaration from JMV. Yeah, we haven't had a little jacket off weather in a while. That's a good thing. We're approaching the time of year when you get it. But, yeah, this is a must-win. You can't tell me that it's not. I don't care if you do the analytics. I don't care if you crunch the numbers, and nothing mathematically equates to this being must-win. All you got to do is be looking, be watching, understanding. It is. And I know I throw these things around easily, but it is. All right, quick one. We'll return. Top of the hour break. And I've got Anything Goes. Go ahead and jump on board at Anything Goes. 239-1070. We won't check you in. You call in. We'll put you on hold, and we're going to talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. It is anything goes at 239-1070. For about 20 minutes, we got you with Anything Goes next.
Check out the newest Lady Jane's haircuts for men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and as you know by now, the action never stops at BetMGM. Hoops and hockey are so hot, and baseball is right around the corner, so it couldn't be a better time to take a shot at an easy 100 from the king of sportsbooks. Today, why don't you sign up by using my promo code BIGJOE100, and you can win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Pacers-Pistons game, and if either team hits a 3, you win. No matter what your favorite sport is, it's always showtime at BetMGM. Get in on the fun. They've got innovative parlay selection builders. They got daily promotions. They've got boosted odds specials and a whole lot more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use my promo code BIGJOE100 to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on the Pacers or the Pistons to hit a 3. Bet with confidence and turn game days into paydays with BetMGM. This is a new customer offer. It's paid and free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. And if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, I'm Piper. Here's my deal. I don't like full price. I do like people who are nice. At Bill Estes Chevy, that's their deal too. This month, get $7,000 off the new Equinox or $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs. Both have more room for people who are part of my deal, my family. $7,000 off the new Equinox, $8,000 off the new Silverado, and $2,000 more for your trade. Bill Estes Chevy gets my deal, and I like their deal. Visit Bill Estes Chevy at I-465 and Michigan Road, the friendliest intersection in Indy.
Hi, my name is John Hassey, and I am owner of Hassey Construction and president of Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Every year, some unethical construction companies illegally pay workers cash under the table. That puts businesses Nowika represents that provide a good living wage, pay payroll taxes, and employee benefits at a major competitive disadvantage. These companies rob our state of over $405 million every single year. Imagine what could be done for Hoosiers with that money. Please visit indianacip.com/tax fraud to learn how you can take a stand.
Hey, it's JMV, and life as we know it has changed due to COVID-19, but there is still a huge silver lining for homeowners. The real estate market is on fire, and right now is the time to squeeze every last dollar out of the hard-earned equity you've accumulated in your home, so don't delay making that move if you're worried because your home needs costly repairs. Mark Diedel's going to go to work for you, the only real estate agent that I trust and recommend to sell my home. His proprietary marketing system guarantees multiple offers in 3 days at full market value, or he'll sell it for free. For example, Veronica and Avon needed to downsize to use the equity in her home for the next phase in life. Mark Diedel got it done for her. The only real estate agent I would recommend and trust with my home sale, Mark Diedel. That's Mark Diedel and his team at 317-755-4232, 317-755-4232, online, markdiedel.com. That's markdietel.com. Tell them JMV sent you.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
You know Diamonds Direct always has the best selection of precious diamonds. But right now, in the aftermath of 2020's challenges, it's better than ever before. With all the disruptions last year, Diamonds Direct stayed strong and aggressive, working with diamond cutters around the world, finding exceptional values and taking advantage of unique opportunities. The result? A spectacular selection of new, rare, precious diamonds, all shapes, all sizes, from a half carat to 20 carats, and all certified by the GIA, and offered at prices you never thought possible. So make plans now to visit our showroom and see for yourself this expanded selection. Let our expert associates show you multiple choices in the size and shape diamond you're interested in, so you can make the most informed decision with zero pressure. And take comfort in the fact that at Diamonds Direct, whatever happens in the world, we never let anything stop us from our mission to get you the diamond of your dreams. Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Indianapolis Colts, Keystone at the Crossing.
Indy's favorite sports bettor's advantage is the free PropSwap app. PropSwap is where America buys and sells sports bets. This is Kevin Bowen, and I use it. Download the PropSwap app today.
You are tuned into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, talent, and I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Eddie's in here. I'm John. Let's do some Anything Goes at 239-1070. Don Stewart just tweeted me with this. JMV, the jacket-off weather did not enunciate out well over the air. I'm just saying. It never does, and it's not supposed to. That's kind of the point. I think everybody knows that by now. But no, see, that's my thing. I brought that up. Now other people use it. And what that means is that when the weatherman, the weather person, and was no other person takes the jacket off, normally that's outside of the normal broadcast window, and that definitely means there is really bad weather either approaching or upon us. That is what we have referenced for so many years, jacket off weather. It's like, if it's out of the regular broadcast window, the weather dude feels compelled to take his jacket off, thus jacket off weather. So, yeah, I think that is why so many people have so much love for the term in general. Because we always kind of giggle about stuff like that. All right, Anything Goes at 239-1070. I'm ready for you guys right now. We'll start with line 1. Anything Goes, you're on the air. Hello.
Hey, John. Man, my name is Robert.
Hello, Robert.
I just want to say, hey, buddy, I'm a really big fan of this non-jacket weather that you eloquently refer to as
jacket off. Yes.
That's right. Hey, man, not to diss the Snisselbank because I'm from Bloomington. I love to go down there, too. But if you love German food, if you go to French Lake to the German Cafe, that's authentic German food. And the lady who owns it just came over from Würzburg, Germany, about, 10, 12 years ago. And it is awesome. If you know where 33 Brick Street is, it's just right.
Well, I tell you what, I love French Lick. Yeah, and I love French Lick, and I'll definitely go there. I don't know, honestly, I don't know if it's so much about it being the German food as it is. This goes back to the day when my grandparents would take me to Schnitzelbank, you know what I mean? I'd go down to Jasper to the Holodome and, stay overnight and swim indoors and then go to the Schnitzelbank. It's probably more of the tradition than anything. But it's still, the food's great, though, yeah.
It is. They have a great salad bar. It's been a while since I've been there, but yeah, you'd love the German Cafe. I could tell you what to order, and you'd love it. I promise you that.
Well, I got to make it down there at some point because I also love taking my staycations at French Lick, so I love that.
Yep, it's awesome.
Hey, thank you for the call.
Brother.
I appreciate that. That's a good call right there. It's funny because we got a lot of people out of town right now on spring break. Anybody out there like me ever spring break at the Holodome? Now, I'll have to explain what the Holodome is because they don't have Holodomes any longer. Most of these places have pools, right? You go to a hotel, a Hilton Garden Inn, a Hampton Inn, a Holiday Inn Express, and they probably have some sort of pool. But let me just tell you, that is absolutely nothing compared to what the Holodome used to offer. There was a Holodome in Jasper, and I think like 3 or 4 different spring breaks, that's where I went. And you're going to go, wait a minute. You went on spring break to a hotel in Jasper? What the hell's wrong with you? No. It was great. It wasn't your average hotel. This was a Holodome. This was when your room opened up to everything, to a pool, to an arcade of video games, AstroTurf. A cafe, a bar, it was all right there inside this Holodome. And they had one in Jasper. I think they had one in Princeton, too. No, it was worthy of a vacation. Plus, back then, I got 4 channels. The Holodome gave you free HBO, baby. So I might have got a little side B action just by watching a little HBO because it was free. But no, the Holodome in Jasper was great. I mean, it's great. You could get out of the pool, not even dry off, and then just walk 10 steps to the other side on the AstroTurf and play Asteroids, Missile Command, Pinball, the Playboy pinball game, Gorgar. It was all right there. And then, be worried about your parents and go, oh, my God, you're going to be electrocuted. So what? I'm wet out of the pool and I'm playing Asteroids. We're all good. The Holodome was the real staycation back in the day. Thanks for the call. Line 2's Anything Goes at 239-1070. Hello.
JMV.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
I'm great. Thank you for the call.
Good. Hey, I have one Christmas wish for you.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you can talk a little bit more about Purdue basketball in the fall?
More Purdue hoop in the fall. I will just for you. Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I understand that this is we're in Indianapolis. This is IU country, but my cousin Jaden Ivey plays for Purdue, so I just love to hear when
you got that right.
Dan talk about that.
Your cousin is a fantastic player too. That is awesome to see. Yes, and you know what? They got a great recruiting class coming in. I mean, it's going to be a good year next year.
It is. And then honestly, the third year, because I don't believe everybody's going to leave to the league. So I mean, we have a few good years coming up. So
well, I know Eric Hunter's dad's a listener. Jaden Ivey, he's your did you say cousin?
Yeah, he's my cousin.
Yep. So yeah, we got a lot of Purdue ties with listeners of the show. That's good to hear.
All right, I appreciate it, Jay.
You got it. You call anytime. Thank you. I like it. Shout out to Jaden Ivey's family. I haven't heard from Eric Hunter's dad in a while. Yeah, seriously, the Holodome was legit. It was a vacation spot. I mean, pool, cafe, bar. I mean, we weren't in on the bar just yet, but listen, I dig a hotel where you open up to a party pool area. These hotels now, you got to open up and you walk down the hall and it's a room. The pool's in a room. This was in a dome. It's from BT. So a guy recommends a restaurant by saying they have a great salad bar. Hold on a second, though, BT do. You can get me at a salad bar. There's a reason why I want to revisit Rack's one of these days. Rack's had a great salad bar. I'm a big fan of a salad bar. I think salad bars certainly have been lost in the shuffle. There's no doubt salad bars have been absolutely consumed by COVID. We got to get back to the days of great salad bars. BT, I'm glad you got your... By the way, BT Do, who is a constant listener to the JMV Takeover on Saturday, I tell you, I give away free... I don't put it that way. Free liquid's what I say. I almost said free liquor. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not. But Heaven Hill Distillery and Brent Halverson, they give me product every Saturday night, and I give it away. BT Do showed up today and picked up his 2 bottles of Larceny Bourbon, baby. More to come on Saturday night. JMV Takeover. Jason Ellis says the Holodome I went to as a kid annually near Goshen, Indiana, also had an indoor mini golf and sauna. Oh, yeah, the sauna, man. You get in that sauna, though. You stand there for about 5 minutes and go, I don't really dig the sauna thing here. They didn't have mini golf at the Jasper one, but, man, did they have the video games and pinball machines everywhere. There's nothing better at all than playing Galaga soaking wet. Line 3's Anything Goes. You're on the air. Hello.
Hey, JMV. This is Warwick.
Warwick, what's happening?
Hey, if you could bring back one former Pacer not named Reggie Miller to help this team, who would it be?
That's a hell of a question you asked me right there. To help this team right now?
Yes.
You guys are all going to laugh because I know nobody wants him back, and this is horrible. Horrible for me to say because I'm not a fan either. But just because we're in the now and he's still playing right now, I'd probably say Paul George. I probably would just because he's still playing. I mean, I know that's a really unpopular thing to say. You want me to go further back. I get that. I mean, defensively, if it was that without all the junk that came along with it, Artest was a guy that, right now they have 0 defensive players outside of Miles. So that certainly would be a dude that I would think of. Hell. You think of the golden era with Reggie Miller. Somebody, I mean, they have Miles that block shots and somebody to help out rebounding, somebody like a Dale Davis, somebody that was versatile that I never thought they should have gotten rid of in the first place with Antonio Davis, which turned out to be a huge mistake. You probably start right there with me. There were 4 or 5 good names. I can't believe I said Paul George.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe Roger Brown or George.
Oh,
McGinnis.
yeah, you're going, yeah, no doubt. You're going further back than me. I got you. Hey, listen, I'd take a guy like Ricky Sobers right now, Adrian Dantley right now, James Edwards right now. I'd take that group that really didn't have success here in the late 70s, but turned out to be really outstanding NBA players. Alex English, I'd take that. Yes. Hey, thank you for the call. He just got pissed off at me when I said Paul George, I think. Hey, JMV, if you spent a half an hour poolside at the Holodome, your body was sanitized via chlorine. I think my kids are going to, what the hell's that place down in French Lick? The guy brought up French Lick a moment ago. Big Splash. They're going to Big Splash. So they, they're going to be sanitized for months. Can you imagine? Sanitized for months. And if you've ever been down there, too, I mean, the water park is fun for the kids. They also have a hotel hooked onto it. You can tell that they went big on the water park and skimped on the hotel because if you don't stay on the 4th floor, you hear everything that's going on around you. It's like a pole barn with rooms and drywall. Kids love it, though. That's what matters. It's like a 4-story pole barn with rooms and drywall. Make sure if you go, you stay on the 4th floor. I am not going. Line 4 is anything goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
This is Randy.
Hello, Randy. Go ahead.
Everybody complains about no edge rushers, but who the hell assigned any edge rushers?
There have been some. I get what you're saying right there, but there have been guys. I don't know who Kevin Bowen was thinking about as edge rushers that have been signed, but I think what we understand is that was a definite need here, right? So that's kind of what we were looking at right there. But
and also,
I get what you're saying, though. I mean, what?
Throwing up 3-pointers, 50 the other night was ridiculous.
Oh, against Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the worst games you'll watch. I mean, it really was. So I think what Kevin was talking about, to answer your question, and I'll give you a great example, Hassan Reddick was the guy for the Cardinals that really wasn't that expensive and gave you a edge rushing presence. That'd be one. There were some others out there, too. Like Clowney is still out there, too. I don't know if anybody would want him, but I get what you're saying. I do. Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for the call. Line 5's anything goes. You're on the air.
Hey, JMV.
Yo.
I live right down the road.
From me?
No, from the Holiday Inn.
Oh, you do? Which Holiday Inn?
No, I did.
Oh, you grew up close to it.
Yeah, I'm from Jasper, and you were terribly right. That place, the Holodome, was happening.
It was. Hey, spring break, I went there 3 different times, man. 3.
Did you ever play the claw?
I wasn't much in the claw. I mean, I was in the pool. I was in the pool. Remember, they had AstroTurf around the pool. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
And then all the video games and pinball machines sat on the AstroTurf outside the pool. It was glorious. Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my spring break.
Ping pong table.
Yes, a ping pong. Yes, a stinking ping pong table and fake plants. It looked like a jungle of plastic plants.
But did you ever go down to the Double R bar?
Well, I was still in elementary.
Oh,
so
I'm
at the
sorry
time, yeah,
about that.
I wasn't old enough.
I'm a little ahead of you.
I was. That's why like my grandparents would take me to the Schnitzelbank. That's why I have a great deal of love for the Schnitzelbank back in the day.
Well, God bless you. And last and not least, if you go to Ireland, Indiana, the chicken place is awesome.
I know. The chicken place, and that's what it's called. The chicken place in Ireland is outstanding. Thank you for the call, and I love Jasper. I love Jasper, too. They got a Shoney's back in the day. I dig on Shoney's. Do you think, I know they do in the South, if they ran Shoney's back up here, would you guys go or not go? You ever go to Shoney's? Oh, man. Shoney's had a hell of a breakfast bar back in the day. Come on, everybody. They had rice and little chunks of sausage and rice. Oh, man. What? You turn your nose up on sausage and rice? Come on. Line 1's anything goes. You're on the air. Hello?
JMV, Cardinal Jack checking in.
Cardinal Jack? What's happening?
Nothing, my man. Hey, I was thinking like you were, the Davis twins. I mean, Dale Davis, he could put a little nasty into this team, couldn't he?
One of my all-time favorites was Antonio, and, man, it just was a kick in my groin whenever he got dealt. I mean, it was. And I've told Donnie about that before, too. That sucked for me.
Hey, well, listen, I wanted to give your listeners a head up. This last weekend, I had 3 of my homeboys come in, 1 from Alabama, 2 from St. Louis, and we caught 3 games, 2 down at the Fairgrounds, which was a great venue. It was much more intimate than Hinkle.
Okay.
It was smaller.
Right.
And we're sitting there doing live betting. There's no lines for beer. There's no lines for the toilets. And it seemed like we ended up, you could sit anywhere because the tickets are all electronic and no one could read them. So we just would walk into one of the things, see if we wanted to like the sight lines, and you just go sit down. There weren't really any ushers to check you in or not. So, you could really go sit where you want. And we paid about $60 an average a ticket. And that's never going to happen again.
Never.
So we sat with the Drexel kids. They were awesome. We sat with East Washington, the team from Spokane. They had a whole cheer section. And the coolest ones, and I know the Purdue fans hated it, but we were right in the middle of the North Texas. And when I say in the middle, there might have been 30 people, right?
Yeah.
But they're cheering like crazy, so we cheered along with them. I mean, you kind of get caught up in it.
I'm telling you. Yes. You got that right. You do get caught up in it. Yeah.
So if they've got the time and a little of the money, I'm sure the tickets are going to be a little higher. But it was an awesome experience that all my buddies left here going, we'll never do that again. I go, I know.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you're having a blast. That is an awesome story right there. I need to get Creighton and Gonzaga tickets for Sunday. I've had Gonzaga tickets 2 straight games. That was Norfolk State and then against Oklahoma, and I have had to work both times. And I want to get the kid down there too. I got to get tickets for Creighton and Gonzaga. And I'm sure that may be a little bit salty. Line 2's anything goes. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, JMV, you can keep PG-13. I'm taking Danny Granger in his prime.
Oh, man, that's a good thought right there. It's a good thought. Yeah.
All day long. Hey, and the next thing I want to say, I'll be real quick.
Yep.
All the Purdue fans, you guys need to be on notice because IU's getting ready to start spanking you. From here on out, all you Purdue fans, be on notice. Archie's gone. There ain't no more ass whippings being handed out to us anymore. You guys are taking them on.
Purdue's on notice. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Line 3, go quick for me. Anything goes.
JMV.
Yeah.
It's Greg.
Greg, go quick.
Hey, real quick. The Hollow Dome, they had one there on Michigan Road. Used to come down there as a kid, hitting the turf, putt-putt golf. Good stuff.
That was spring break, brother, right there. You and a bunch of dudes your age back in elementary together in a Hollow Dome was dangerous in great business. Kyle, great job. Eddie, thank you. J. Michael, Kevin Bowen, Michael Lewis, podcast 1075thefan.com. Pacer Piston pregame show on the way next. Talk to you tomorrow at 3.
Check out the newest Lady Jane's haircuts for men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of